Alright, I think I've waited long enough. Let me turn this off. Alright, there we go. I'll give everyone, let's give everyone another minute or two, and we'll get started. So, hello everyone, and welcome to another wonderful stream of Minotaur Hotel. Let me make sure all the settings are set up correctly real quick. I think we're all good. I think we're all good though. I think we're all set up. Give everyone another minute or two. How are we doing today? I know it's been a little bit since I've played Minotaur Hotel. It's been a little bit. I'll turn up the music just a little bit. I think that's good. Safe for work mode is definitely a yes. What is this game about? Oh, you are the first person to ask me this question. Only because, you know, to summarize it very, very quickly, this is a visual novel. It is a furry visual novel. You basically play a character who, long story short, somehow gains the deed to a abandoned hotel, which you find out is a focal point for Greek mythology. There's a lot of Greek mythology stuff in this, so if that's not your thing, you're probably not going to like this, but it does have very good writing. Planning on what to cook for dinner. Well, Google. You can, separate it into meats. What kind of meat are you feeling today? You got chicken, you got pork. Chicken, you've got pork. You have, shrimp. And the list goes on and on and on. I think we waited. I think we waited long enough. I'm gonna get started. Oh, really quickly before I start. Thank everyone for being so patient. I know it's been a long time since I've played this visual novel. I think I've mentioned it before. I've been busy the past 2-3 months, mainly with a lot of work. I'm on new medication. And not only with the medication, there's also work. Like I said, work's been really busy lately, so I haven't really had as much free time as I would like, and I didn't even realize it's had an update. And the reason I was thinking about doing this is because I noticed I never get to catch Dirk the Red Panda. He's another furry YouTuber that predominantly does what I do, which is, oh, that game echo. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted. We're gonna, come on, serious time. But I noticed they were playing, and I actually caught one of their streams. I didn't respond or anything, but I noticed I caught one of their streams, and I was like, I need to get back into this. And then I found out there was an update, and then I was like, oh, I really have to, you know, I haven't updated this game in months, and I haven't streamed it in like 3-4 months. So I was like, you know what, we need to go back. I need to go back to Minotaur Hotel, because I really did enjoy it before, and it's something a little different. It seems a lot less focused on romance and more focused on, like relationships, like making platonic relationships, and the fact that it's Greek mythology, and it's, you know, it's a lot of stuff. But I'm gonna get started, and where is continue? Oh, I did have to. You're gonna notice there's June 15th is when the last time I played this, and there's October 11th. I had to go back and catch up because the update is a major update for the UI and stuff. So I had to actually go back and play this. Because my old saves wouldn't work. So that's why you're gonna notice that. Okay, but we are all set. Load. Here we go. Before sunset, the Griffin... oh, sorry. Before sunset, the Griffin took out a few chairs to the parking lot. The stars above sparkle like a vein of ore. Lucas bathes in red light from a series of battery-powered lamps he brought with him. He pores over the paper strewn on the table, both his notes and a roughed-up book as long as your arm. It's an atlas of the starry sky. The wind threatens to blow it away, but the Griffin used the lamp as a weight. You saw him taking all of these things from his car's trunk. The Minotaur caresses his lyre, a sequence plucked up, Pluctorum grazing the strings, then shifting notes as he tunes it all. You and Coda look at each other, then off to the side. 3 lizards scamper around you. They approach to take a closer look, eyes glimmering in the dark. Their little claws click against whatever trinkets they pick up to examine. Keychains, pins, empty beer cans being passed around for half a minute before being pushed back where they were. After the slightest movement, they run... Oh, hello, Darkwing. Not Darkwing. Darkwing. Hello, Lion Wing. How are you doing? After the slightest movement, they run off a yard or two into the wilderness and hide behind a rock. They chitter like birds, then go silent until the tops of their heads pop up from the rock. You slip them a few treats, some grilled chicken bits, a tuna sandwich, a few apples. The fingers are grubby and so thin. Could you enlighten me about what exactly they are? Oh, okay. I missed that. Wait, hold on. What was Code about to say? The answer's simple, Day. The sky's like nothing I've ever seen, Astrion. I was like, oh no, hey Jake, how are you doing? The Minotaur looks up to the Griffin, blinks, and returns his attention to his lyre. As I was saying, that's easy to answer. Years ago, I heard of a playful breed of diminutive, reptile-like beings said to live and toil underground. I have seen them a handful of times in my travels, mainly in the old world and about a century or more ago. These boys have grown awfully scarce as of the last decades. If memory serves me, they are called cobalts. Cobalts, like the metal? Indeed, I suppose it must relate to them being underground critters. I think it's Cobalt with a K. It's Cobalt with a K! Like, you know how Mortal Kombat is spelled with a K? Mortal Kombat, you know? Are you hard away from... Ooh. My voice today. A yard away from the 4 of you, the kobolds play fight on the ground. The chubby lizard crawls on all fours and charges towards the darkest kobold, who dodges then immobilizes him. The loser groans, not too different from a shrill moo. The chubby one splays himself on the ground like butchered cattle and plays dead. Over his corpse, the 2 other lizards, the dark and light one, wrestle. When one trips on the chubby boy, he quickly crawls away, then stays by the sidelines, fidgeting and hugging himself. The dark boy wins, but a rematch follows. A cloud of dust rises, grunts, shrieks, pierce it. The chubby boy groans something, but neither of the 2 listen to him. And are you sure they are safe to keep around? What if they're rabid? If I am correct in my assessment, then yes, I say so. Some people see these little ones as pests, but they are diligent workers, assuming they are treated well. And I'll have you know they are quite resistant to just about any disease you can imagine. Plus, they are cold-blooded, no chance they can get rabies. They are very hard to kill. I see in... No, sorry, I was double-checking, so I got really... I happened to look, I got nervous, because I don't know why. For a second, I swore I saw my, thing flash in my mic, and I was like, oh, please tell me I don't have it off. I see, and just to be sure, what exactly does treating them well entail? Oh, they don't need much. Food, water, a hole to sleep in, shiny rocks and metals if you want to reward them. The shinier the better. They love pyrite. You can rely on them to work hard, although occasionally they may get distracted and goof off. Take a look, I'm sure they are about to pull something off. The Cobalt's wrestling match reaches its conclusion. It would seem the Darker Lords had won time and time again, but this time the lighter one broke an ancient rule by pulling the other's tail. He straddles the loser, lets out a growl of victory, made throaty and ragged from the promise of violence lying underneath it. He's tired of the humiliation, time and time again, losing, and as a consequence being put through the disgrace of eating the greenest apples. By the gods, how many times can a man be made to eat the burnt edge of a bread slice before losing his faith in justice and fairness? He pulls a weapon, a crumbled beer can, and it's the time for violence. The chubby Cobalt throws himself to stop him, snorting and shrieking as snot runs down his nose. But their fate is sealed. Cain and Abel cannot avoid the tragedy they were put in by God. In the last second, the darker Cobalt ponders about life, how there is no grand epiphany before one meets his end, no enlightenment. It all ends as abruptly as one's first memories begin. The lighter Cobalt brings the can down on the other's skull. It makes a dull thud, then bounces off a feet or two away. I think it's probably a foot or two away. The loser lets out a dramatic wail, one filled with curses to demons and pleas to the gods, while the victor yells in maddened glory. The chubby one cries and grieves. The winner takes the spoils, the ripest apple, the thickest chicken bit, and the middle of the sandwich overflowing with tuna. What a sick, twisted world this is. The chubby boy can only wail, moaning his characteristically shrill moo, and invoke the Furies to bring retribution. The victor lets out a final shriek of glory. Hold it. Let it ring across the valley until it all dies down. The end. The 3 Oh, that's funny. I like that. The 3 boys rise, hold each other's hand, and celebrate. What a marvelous performance. The trope bows as the invisible audience offers them a standing ovation. They are very playful, as you can see. Wouldn't you agree, Luke? What? The Cobalts, aren't they the funniest thing you've ever seen? Yeah, sure, funny little rascals ate my lunch, but sure. You can't blame them, they are so thin. Who knows when they last had a proper meal? Uh-huh. The Griffin goes back to poring over his reddened papers. You get up to check how he's doing. There's a celestial atlas on the table. Its pages are thoroughly scribbled with very faint pencil marks. On the margins are lists of names and dates. So, Luke, how's it going? Are the stars good tonight? Absolutely. The night sky here is just incredible. Look for yourself. Have you ever seen stars so clear as this, Mark? Can't say I have. I don't think even the most secluded place I've ever visited was like this. Aye, not a drop of light pollution. If we were near a city where buildings and homes, lampposts, what have you, that whole junk makes it hard to see the stars. But not a drop of that here, and I don't recognize these stars at all, not a single one of them. Except maybe, I see a string of stars that reminds me of Hydra, but it might just be a look-alike. I'm doing okay, Lion Wing, thank you for asking. I have off today, so that always makes things a lot better. Like every time I have off of work, it's always a nice thing. Work's very stressful. I work very, very stressful. I might have an answer to that, Luke. Did it cross your mind we might not be in the Northern Hemisphere? Perhaps that is all you are familiar with. It did, in fact, and that ain't it. Plus, I have you know, I know my way around the Southern Celestial Hemisphere. If there's one thing this bird brain here knows, it's the stars. As you might expect, there's no telephone or GPS signal here either, so there's no way of knowing for sure where on Earth we are. But no place on Earth would have a sky like this, so my hypothesis is we aren't on Earth at all. Ha! Is this your first time facing something deeply supernatural, Luke? I thought you'd be more acquainted with such circumstances. Excuse me if I don't come from the mystical Far East, Mr. Dragon God. Back home, we don't have none of this shit. So why don't you enlighten us about what's going on then? Oh, well, you are coming at this from the wrong angle, you see. Magic isn't meant to be broken down with human science. Luke, it just is what it is. No, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, Lion Wing. I appreciate it. I'm not mad that you called me darling. You're fine. Sorry, Chief, but that won't do it for me. I'm in love with this guy, and I want to make it all mine. He looks up with a crown of stars over his head. One couldn't forget the man's luxurious nature and crass jokes. For the night, he carries well the majesty of America's bald eagle. Can you imagine it if this whole place is on another planet? What this could mean for mankind? Maybe I could. It'd be such a pain in the ass, but maybe I could look and find a star in common with the Earth's sky. But I don't even know where to start with that if I'm wrong about Hydra. Maybe if I... What are you doing, Luke? Mapping the sky, boss. I can't let this opportunity pass by. I was talking with Astrion a few nights ago and he told me no one mapped it out. At least he don't think anyone did, so I'm doing it. You mind if I make up constellations and give them names? Oh, it's okay, Nevik. How you doing? If Astrion is fine with it, then so am I. Bald eagles are not actually bald. Surprise fact! We have science facts here, guys, in our Greek mythology visual novel. Did you know, as Echo Blade just mentioned... I see. Well, in that case, well, just to be sure, would it be okay if I named one after my brother? I don't see why not. Thanks. This is a dream come true, boss. Brother, you say? That's right. Peter was his name. We used to stargaze as kids, and he'd come up with all the weirdest constellations you could imagine. Brother. Androgos's hand covered the Minotaur's, a rough and calloused mitt on top of his fingers, covered only by a dusting of fur. For 2 weeks, he taught his baby brother how to pull an arrow from a quiver, how to fit its notch on the bowstrings, how to pull it with the back and not the arms. Acquiring the strength to pull the string came easily to the growing calf, Astrion of the steep, wide back. That's what Androgos called him, the archer's son. The dexterity to notch the arrows and aim eluded him, however, and it was years before the young hybrid could let loose a proper sequence of arrows. But one day, Androgos's teachings collapsed inward. Perhaps something changed in the Minotaur's eyes, or a blessing took root in his hands. All he learned was made flesh, and from then on his progress was nothing short of prodigal. From that day onwards, once every other week or so, their father would rise early to watch their practices. To have his undivided attention as target after target fell, until it all came to an end. Androgios, how short was our time together, and yet few left such an everlasting impression in me. Oh wait, I didn't realize this was Astrion talking. If only I had remained in Hades. I didn't realize it was Astrion inner thoughts. Peter was such a cheeky son of a bitch. I even got a question wrong in an exam once, you know. Turns out there's no such thing as an Argos consultation, though there is an Argos Navi. And the bastard got that one right too. When I came out, he was laughing his ass off at me. He just knew from my face I had gotten it wrong. In my defense, that one is from the southern hemisphere, so it's not like back then I had a chance to see it for myself. I see. So you had a good relationship then? Hell yeah. How about you, Blue Boy? Got any siblings back wherever home is for you? I did. Once upon a time, a brother, red-scaled and more apt in the martial arts than I. I, on the other hand, found my aptitude in priesthood and scholarship. Still, we got along well with one another, like two halves of a whole, as the shrine priest would say. And indeed, we would have our disagreements and our arguments, but they never mattered much in the end. Onsen and I, The dragon loses himself in reminiscence for a moment, then the smile drops off his face. Of course, circumstances made us go our separate ways in the end. Oh. You know where he is? How he's doing? Who knows? And Dragos, I never asked if you liked the feathers. That night was much like this. I aimed my bow to a star, as if somehow my arrow could reach it and set it loose. 3 times I fired an arrow, and then it fell. Neos and I prepared the fire, our sacrifice to you, feathers of a holy bird. As for Perny, oh gosh, telling you, I'm a mess today. Oh, okay. As for Pernius, we had no common blood, but we were brothers just the same. That night we partied and drowned the embers with wine, and you told me to forsake the labyrinth. We can worship the gods all the same, pay their due respect in our own hearth, and build a shrine around it. Astrion, you can have your freedom if we build our faith. Astrion, are you listening? The Minotaur looks to the dragon, lips sealed, as the words cut through his thoughts. He takes a swig from his wine bottle. Pardon me, what did you say? I was asking, do you have any siblings? Yes, brothers and sisters. Do you mind if I ask where they are now? They aren't around anymore. Quite a while since we last talked. I see. That's quite peculiar to me. I've traveled a lot, seen the world, and yet I had never seen a Minotaur with my own eyes. In fact, of all myths and legends, it is widely believed that Minotaurs didn't exist, or at least don't anymore. Would you mind telling me your siblings' names? The Minotaur raises his eyes from the leer. The Griffin and the Dragon had seen much of the labyrinth's mysteries by now, but he hadn't told them, and neither did the Master. He assumed about his true nature. Did the Dragon learn about it somehow? Parnius was my brother. Is that so? A very Greek name, just like yours. Is that a family tradition? It's our culture. Greek culture? Or perhaps it's culture. You know, it was my brother who first called me Luke. Did yours ever give you a nickname, Astrion? Yes. He used to call me Little Star. Little Star, huh? That's the name of a hymn my mama used to sing to me. Would you care to hear it? If you would like to share it, yes. How wise you look, little star, away up yonder in the sky. How many years have you twinkled there above the world so high? Little star, away up yonder, tell me, were you shining then? Did you hear the angels singing, peace, goodwill to men? I often wonder if you were there when Christ lay in the stall, and if you saw from your dizzy height the infant Lord of all. If you had listened on that night, could you have heard the song that floated down on the midnight air from that angelic throng? Oh yes, a wise little star you not a word to say. You watch all night o'er the drowsy earth, and sleep all through the day. Pretty, huh? Yes, it is nice. Now that this little diversion is resolved, Mark, Astrion, today Luke and I went down to the bedrock. That's where we found the cobalts. I hope you won't mind, but I looked over some of the contracts and documents stored there. What we found was... Yes, what you found is... Oh, Astrion doesn't look happy. Whoa, what just happened? Go on, say it. Now you know the truth. I am Astrion the Minotaur. Yes. Oh, hold on. Wrong voice. Wrong voice. Yes, but what did you do to deserve this? I displeased the gods. That alone warrants punishment. You should know that well enough, considering your age and precedence. No, that's not even scratching the surface. There has to be more to the story. There are millions of mortals who went far beyond displeasing the gods they worship, and I cannot believe any received a punishment so severe as yours. Was it murder? Cannibalism? That is the legend, after all, that you... Coda, stop it. He doesn't want to talk about it. That I see, but we have a right to know what this is all about, and... not really. Wait, how do you have a right, Coda? No, not really. Coda's like, oh, we have a right to. I'm like, not really. I'm like, you're staying here for free. I mean, not really. If he doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't want to talk about it. It's not like it's gonna. It's. Oh boy, it's gonna be time for some dramatic. Whatever it is he did, no matter how big or small, it's already been paid 100 times over. I suppose you are correct on that. Still, it does not answer what exactly is going on here. For instance, you, Mark, if I understood correctly, your role in all of this is being his torturer. There were rocky moments in our interactions, but in my brief time here, I've seen no reason to question your morals. But please, you must understand. I will not work in a place that tortures someone. There is no magic, no amount of gold, nothing that would convince me to do it. So please, I must know what is going on here. Mark, look, I don't want to bring it up tonight. I'm still freaked out trying to get a hold of it, and I ain't sure just saying it like Coda did is what I do. But hell, I'm with him here. I've done my share of fucked up stuff in my life. I'm no saint, but that's all behind me now. I gotta know what this whole labyrinth thing is. So, now that the cat's out of the bag, would you mind? You gather your thoughts from the night you received the deed to finding Astrion in the cold room and everything that came after. What an absurd story it is, and it's been less than 2 weeks since you arrived here. As you string the facts together, it becomes clear how absurd it is, and that the mere idea of having absolute power over this realm and Astrion is objectionable enough, even if you didn't misuse it. But still, you tell them your version up until finding Astrion in the cold room, which is when the Minotaur jumps in and begins corroborating the story, if not telling his own version. It doesn't take more than 15 minutes to get them up to speed. Astrion, Mark, I don't know what to say. So that's why you looked different last night. But why didn't you tell us? Because it really was none of your... Because it really wasn't any of your business. Like, Coda, no offense, Coda and Luke are like, oh, you should have told us. And it's like, it's not really any of your... No offense, it's not really any of your business. But, alright. I'm like, if we didn't feel like telling him, or Astrion didn't feel like telling him, then, you know, that's Astrion's story to tell, and if he doesn't want to tell it, then he doesn't want to tell it. The less people know about it, the more I can just live, ignore it all, and enjoy what I have. It is only because you went to the valley and saw what it holds that I am willing to speak. Regardless, that was a story I had no interest in ever sharing. See, and I think this is why too, because I feel like Astrion's kind of like, he knows that this is his punishment. This is supposedly this is his endless fate. I know. I'm sorry. Echo Blade. I'm sorry. I had to pause for a moment. I'm sorry, Echo Blade. Like I said, it probably would have been a little better if you watched the other videos, because it'll catch you up to speed. This is like technically, this is my 8th stream doing this. So you're probably gonna be a little confused what's going on. Is there no way to set you free? There must be. If there was, I assumed he'd have achieved it by now. Indeed, I am yet to see a hint of a way out. Luke turns back to his celestial maps, but Gates is set at his feet. Coda looks off to the road and runs a hand over his beard. Astrion draws a breath, holds it, lets it out in a hoarse wheeze. Even the cobalts interrupted their roughhousing. Now they sit by a rock a few feet away and watch Astrion. None of them directs as much as a glance towards you, but their presence bears on you regardless. You are the boss after all. If anyone has the legitimacy to speak and take the reins, it's you. The events from this afternoon are still fresh. That's a good start. Regardless of whether or not there's one, I can do my part. We were talking earlier today about it. For all intents and purposes, Astrion is my business partner. We work together, make decisions after consulting each other, even live under the same roof. Astrion said there's no way I could make that official here, and indeed the Labyrinth may have its contracts and laws. It may stop me from signing a document about it. But we don't need paperwork for this. The truth speaks for itself. If we all acknowledge the fact that Astrion and I are equal partners, if everyone knows it, then there's the truth. Then that's the truth. And you can make me accountable for it, right? Now that you know the truth about the valley, what will you do if I ever send Astrion out again? That's not right. We'd stop you. That's right. Even if you did not right to restrain me, you could disobey me by, let's say, going on a strike. None of you have to trust me to do the right thing out of the goodness of my heart. You can stop or pressure me. And if we keep this up for long enough, for the decades, I'll be the hotel's manager, then when the next one comes around, he won't have a choice either, will he? Everyone will expect Astrion to be treated as a partner. That's all they'll have ever known. All these restraints will pass on to him. People will demand it. We can't know for sure what the future holds, but this could be enough to keep you safe, Astrion. It might even be a deterrent against other people like Clement in the future. I am not sure that will resolve all forms of future issues, but regardless, it sounds like a good idea. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does sound good, but if someone wanted to do something fucked up, it wouldn't really stop them. I mean, even you. If you want to do something bad, you could still do it behind closed doors. Hell, if Coda and I aren't paying attention, you could still send Astrion out to the creepy valley. Astrion, is there a way we could use some of the hotel's magic to deal with this? Could there be something you could use? I have an idea, but I'm not sure it can work. Astrion, I recall you saying that I can't forbid myself from sending you out, but I was thinking, could we set up something that would do something I'd rather avoid if I do send you out? A simple request, really. If a condition is realized and an unpleasant consequence is triggered. Too many such contracts in the craft of the millennia, so much so that there are dozens at the bedrock. And yet, few if any to restrict the all-powerful master. There is one contract he could use, one the Minotaur is well acquainted with. Yet his neck bristles, he grits his teeth and bites his tongue. What hubris to even consider putting a master through such infamy. Or a friend, for that matter. There is no way anyone would accept it. Mark will refuse, but then, at least, the Minotaur will be able to breathe free of doubt. The charade will be over. There is something we can do, but I'm afraid you won't like it, my lord. I am aware of an old contract that could create a pair of linked artifacts. It's been used a few times by lords past. What does it do? Are you sure this is what you want? Would you really go as far as restricting yourself to accomplish this? The contract creates 2 armbands, one in the form of a laurel wreath, one in a simple ring of lead. We establish clauses, the conditions which we wish to stop from ever coming true. Let's say, we intend to stop you from ever sending me to the valley. Then you would don the lead ring, I would take the laurel wreath, and we sign the contract with 2 eyewitnesses. Then it would stop me from... then it would stop me from doing it? Strictly speaking, no. What it would do is inflict a punishment on you if it ever came true. What's the punishment? It would amputate your arm. Oh. Ooh. It would amputate... Huh. Sorry. I was taking a drink or something. Amputate. That's a pretty serious contract there. That's quite a punishment. It is. The lead ring cannot be removed either, unless the contract is revoked with the consent of both parties and all eyewitnesses. But if you want to prove to me that you have no ill will, then this is your chance. I can get the contract now, tonight. I already know the terms I'd want. Okay, what do you have in mind? That I shall not be forced or coerced to go to the valley. That is all I want. Okay, because I was about to say, okay, because what I was about to say is, I said, what if a serious issue comes up later in the story and and Astrion has to go to the valley? I was like, but he goes of his own free will to, let's say, find something to help us. I was like, would that still make the armband, like, you know, like, will we still lose our arm? But Astrion's saying, the contract is going to say shall not be forced or coerced. So if Astrion chooses to go of his own free will, we'll be fine. It's just we can't make him go to the valley. Okay. So we're fine. I was getting a little worried. I was like, oh no, is our character going to lose an arm later in the story? If you were telling the truth, if you don't want to bring me harm and wish to realize the hotel's mission, then this condition should not be controversial. I have no business in the valley. For centuries before Clement, I never had a reason to go there, and no master saw a reason to either. This clause does not specify who forces or coerces me to go to the valley, mind you. If this term is signed, then it will be in your best interest to protect me from anyone who would. I don't want you to be harmed either. You have been a good master, so you can expect me to defend you from any who would so much as try to force you. If what you said tonight is true, if you truly want to make me your business partner, this is the one thing that will convince me once and for all. I want to never go to the valley again. That's all I want. Give me this one thing, and I will follow you. Not because you are my master, but because then I'll know that you meant all that you said. Oh, if we can actually... of course we're going to say let's do it, but I love how we can choose I'm not so sure about this. What happens if I say I'm not so... What happens if I say I'm not so sure about this? Like, I almost want to say I'm not... You know, let's ask the audience, just for shit. Let's ask the audience. I'm going to ask you guys just for curiosity. What should I choose? Should we... Hold on, I should probably save while we're at it. For another... Okay. Should I choose to go to the valley or not? Should I choose to sign the contract or not to sign the contract? I don't know. I know. I'm so sorry, Echo Blade. I'm really sorry that you're new to this, because you're new to my channel, right? I promise you, this isn't the only kind of stuff I play. I do play regular games too, but most of my regular games I usually only play on my Twitch. I know, Echo Blade. I appreciate you stopping by though and just watching this. Like, hopefully you're finding some enjoyment. If not, that's okay too. But like I said, also if you're into more, you know, non-furry stuff, if you're into stuff that's non-furry, I also have my Twitch where I just play normal, regular games. All right, we're gonna sign the contract. Okay, 2 people said do it. We're gonna do it. Yeah, let's do this. Prepare the contract. 4 shadows bathed in red light huddled around a table overlooked by the starry sky. A dry, thick piece of parchment, a handwritten scroll, clauses and terms muttered beneath bouts of coughing, ideas growing like spiderwebs until touching and being woven together. The Minotaur draws a script you're unfamiliar with, something more ancient than the very alphabet. It slurs, fades in and out, then rebuilds itself into words and sentences. Each paragraph bound and latched onto each other, each clause cut open, studied, and put back together a dozen times, until it becomes a frightful web of cause and consequence. Should Astrion ever go to the valley as a result of force or coercion, you'll meet a grisly fate. Sweat drips from the Minotaur's forehead. He wipes it with a shaking hand, looks over to you, then averts his gaze. The first draft is done. It's left to sleep and age as all of you look up to the stars and share a moment of silence. Koda rubs his temples as he strains to catch sentence amidst the red light. Sentences amidst the red light. Luke looks to the stars. His concentration is gone. The cobalts are folding a few pieces of paper. You and Astrion stand a foot away from each other. You look away, the moment lingering, before gazing into each other's eyes. Then the moon, the stars, and finally the Minotaur's hands. Return to the contract, read it aloud, weigh every word against each other, each part's burden and boon. Then start anew, a fresh parchment to paint the picture again, this time with a comma here, a period there. Such a human thing, to prize precision in every sentence. Gods, back in their time, should not care about the pains and sorrows of mortal men. Whatever promises the Olympians made were vague and careless. But humans have so much to lose and little to gain. Even this undying Minotaur, man in all but shape. But you, good master, what brought you to this ugly land, to this empty and abandoned hotel? There are dark in a spacious paths you could have wended, and one of great glory, too. This is where you are, however. We, sitting at the sideline, can only hope it was this moment you sought. Would it be excessive of us to assume you came here to undo the hybrid shackles? What an odd master you are. Hundreds came before, but none were so foolish as to do what you are about to do. Humanity is peculiar indeed. Forgive us if we wander, but the question gnaws. Did mankind change with the times? Or are you perhaps a rare, fine specimen? The Minotaur stirs. It's time, our good lord. The contract is ready, Mark. Kodo steps forward and reads the contract out loud. By the will of the Labyrinth's master, this binding contract is established, so it may enforce its contents upon the world and its people. Hereby, the master commands into existence two linked objects, a lead ring to fit around a man's bicep, and a laurel wreath as wide as a prisoner's arm. These two objects shall be linked in cause and effect as will their wearers. Whoever dons the lead ring will find it impossible to remove, except through the revoking of this contract. Whoever first dons the laurel wreath shall become its permanent and unchangeable owner. If the owner of the laurel wreath is ever made to go to Labyrinth's Valley, either by coercion, command, or forcing, then the lead ring shall constrict and close as to amputate its bearer's arm. By the master's will, this contract may only be revoked if all its parties, bearer of the lead ring, owner of the laurel wreath, and the two eyewitnesses present during its signing consent to it. Such is the master's will. Master, is this truly what you want? Yes, I told you earlier, and I meant today, and I meant it, Astrion. Did you expect me to go back on my word now that we are putting consequences on the table? Yes, I did. I could not imagine a master accepting conditions so absurd. I suppose you're wrong then, but there's no reason to feel bad. Sometimes that's a good thing. You take the pen and sign the contract. The contract shudders in your hand. Its paper turns thicker, almost leathery in texture. You sign the oath of the binding rings. You can reread the terms in the files menu. I'll reread the terms. Oh, no, I don't need to read it. The two rings materialize on the table. Astrion takes the lead one, you take the laurel wreath, and then you turn to each other. Astrion, I promise not to send you to the valley under any circumstances, and I swear I'll protect you from any who would attempt to. I swear by my arm, knowing well the consequences of breaking my word, but I do it with my mind at peace. There's no reason why I would ever transgress this rule. I promise to be the good master you and this hotel deserve. Master Mark, your kindness and piety are unmatched. This contract asks nothing of me. Regardless, I will offer my binding word in your favor. I promise to protect you, as is my duty, and to keep away from this land any who would threaten you by means of our oath. I swear that I'll do everything possible, within or without my reach, so that you will never regret your mercy. I like this. This is good. I think we made a good choice. I remember I told people, I was like, oh yeah, does anybody want me to do the roofless path? I think I had very few votes for the roofless path. Well, I'm going to do the roofless path after I catch up on, as far as this one goes, but... Oh, I didn't read that line. Well then now. Excuse me, Coda, there is something I would like to add. Indeed, Astrion, the contract asks nothing of you, which is why I will require one thing now. I do not care to register this in paperwork, or if it can be made into a contract in the first place. Still, I want you to fulfill this simple request. What is it, my lord? Effective now, you will accept your place as my business partner, and from now on, you will call me by my name. Yes, Mark, I accept your request. Oh, this is good. We're doing really good. I like this. We're doing good. Things are going well. Things are going well. Too well, in fact. What's going to happen? I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. I feel like something bad's going to come up. Oh, jeez. If there are no more objections, then, Astrion, Mark? You extend your left arm and the Minotaur gingerly slides the ring until it fits around your bicep. It does not, however, constrict or bother. It feels like it's barely gracing your skin, even if it's firm and unmoving. The Minotaur extends his arm and you do the same. Slide the laurel wreath with its leaves caressing Astrion's fur until it fits around his bicep. Oh, I like that! It's a golden wreath. It's done, good master. Your little ceremony, this peculiar rite, it binds you to ease the prisoner's load. What an odd pair. These rings befit you, and what a gallant ceremony. And now you may kiss the bride. Oh, freaking Luke. I hate Luke. I hate Luke. I hate him so much. Luke, what the hell? Oh, Luke. Oh, Luke. And now you may open your mouth to spoil the moment, you uncouth peasant. Always. Oh, something tugs on your pants. The little guy glares at you a good foot of distance away, then shoots out with his arm to offer you something. It's a little paper rose. You only have the time to grasp it before he runs off to hide behind a rock. Oh, Mark, he wanted to give you a gift. Huh? I guess you're right. They can be cute. Of course I am right. Why did you ever doubt me? The two go on to bicker, as is their wont. You watch with Astrion by your side, the both of you bathed in the red lamplight from below when the moonlight's white from above. Behind stands the hotel, tall and kingly, a wall between you and the horrible valley. Astrion's arm is warm against yours. This time there is no frightened recoiling or tense shuddering. The wind rushes past and around you, and this time the both of you lean together. Who is it that began it? You cannot tell. Mark, wouldn't you say this calls for a drink? Yes, but Luke only brought his watered-down beer. We could share a bottle of wine back at the hotel. I would enjoy that. It would make for a memorable end to this night. Such a tiny ember, but its heart beats red nonetheless. That was a good... Is this the end of chapter 13? The two of you return home, bumping shoulders as you go. That night, the Minotaur is welcomed into restful slumber, and the following day, for the first time since the Second World War, he allows himself a day of uneventful peace. Hades, the courthouse. The Minotaur and Charon, ferrymen of the dead, sailed down and across the river Styx. The journey was brief but not unpleasant. Left and right, the newly dead looked to spires of rock jutting from the ground in shapes both familiar, temples, homes, palaces, and incomprehensible edifices that defied geometry and logic. The world of the dead lacked sunlight, but so did its objects lack a shadow. Everything shone with a humble light coming from within. Even the Styx waters glimmered, so clear were they that the Cretan prince could gaze into their depths, to the restful sandbank peppered with gemstones and silver. Astrion hummed along with the ferryman's rowing, and when a drop of boredom fell on his mind, he took to singing. First every song he was ever taught, then new ones that meandered along with the boat. He sang until the knot of his throat was undone, and then they arrived. Ahead was an empire of rocks, gemstones, and metal, which rose from the ground in the shape of a temple, but with the grandeur of a palace. Smaller than the palace of Conosius, thought the Minotaur, ignoring that his memories of the place came from the eyes of a child. Left and right were tall stone walls which had been carved down into bars. He could see the realm of Hades beyond, fields of crocus and grapes, pastures where tall-horned goats and cows grazed. Guards of Hades approached with spears standing tall as if expecting a struggle, as the newly dead were not known for their compliance. But upon seeing his visage, they stopped where they stood. The hybrid prince bowed and spoke with a voice so clear, so song-like they felt as if an old friend and lord was addressing them. He asked for directions to his destiny, and they complied, pointed him to the palace where the dead were judged. They guided him for the first half, passing by the crowds of ailing souls that were yet to accept their own passing, before it became clear that the subject required no oversight. For the second half of the journey, thus they followed him instead and talked. They asked of Crete, cradle of civilization, and Astrion boasted about their fields of crocus and how they swayed in the wind. The prince asked about life in Hades, what trials the Lord of Good Counsel see fit to impose on his subjects. Their response came in booming, fearless voices. If you are deemed a hero as your visage would imply, then the fields of Elysium await you, where you'll find an existence lacking in tragedy. As for us, men of little glory, the asphodel meadows are where we make our home. Here we exist as if still alive, toiling but not suffering, enjoying neither privilege nor curse. My friend, your words are kind, and you need not flatter. My visage is as far from heroic as one can be, and I have lived without merit worthy of praise. Is that so? But make no mistake, I speak with no flattery. You bear a likeness most familiar to us, gods of Hades, Alabut inverted. Oh, hey Batman, how are you doing? I saw the trailer for your new movie. I loved it. It looks pretty good, but you've lost some weight. I think you've lost. You look like you lost a lot of weight. Have you been dieting? If your tongue is honest and you bear no glory worthy of praise, then I pray you consider my advice. One such as you would be a welcome addition to our ranks. Questions swam in the prince's mind. So many, yet only one could be picked at a time. As much as he wished to know of his future, the past still had a lure he could not resist. Friend, please speak without fear. What could you mean by my appearance being familiar? Could it be you have seen here folk like me, cursed with the likeness of a bull? Not like you, but among the elite of Hades, you'll find bull-eyed men from the Cretan lineage, their voices mander just as much as yours. Their greatness is well known and unmatched. That is why I cannot believe you are a humble, mediocre soul. Greatness flows in your blood just as much as it falls on your homes. They came upon a hall as tall as the palace of Conosius, polished stone from top to bottom, with gemstones encrusted where they were birthed. At the end of the hall stood 3 podiums, each with a judge, bull-eyed men with the tanned skin and garments so familiar to the Cretan prince. With his step-wide shoulders standing proud, the Minotaur met his fate head first. The hinterlands won the chart. Well, something a little bit different. The hinterlands. The Minotaur dreams, snapshots around him shifting back and forth. Oh! This is another Minotaur? I thought Minotaurs didn't exist. Where did this one come from? Huh. Okay. I'm interested. Sun beating on his back, fur was always damp from wearing hoodies, a stream of sweat running down his brow. Dry clay caked the fabric. He smelled sour. Soft cloth over his blossoming horns, some shade over his eyes, tail tucked inside his shorts. Then torn hoodies when his horns couldn't be hidden anymore. Bruises before class hidden underneath black fur, then an hour or two of numbers, cold, gentle little blocks. He was holding a pencil now, no more than an inch long after being used to its end. He wrote the numbers down with love, each 7 crossed over in the middle, symmetrical rows of 6s and 9s, a perfect curve for each 2. It took him a while, but he mastered the 8. The 2 bubbles had to be mirrored, then class was over. Years later, syntax and grammar, verbs, adjectives, nouns. Approach the delicate woman, the teacher said. Woman, I said women. Cross the unwearying sea. Sentences stretching on and on, neat little bricks. Hollow hoofed bull, he said. Snickers. The boy disliked these words. But then came an eruption, interpretations, text. He liked the stories, but the rules of his mind were different from those the books held dear. History and geography were puzzling, too soft and pillable, they escaped through his fingers. Philosophy was fine as long as it was close to mathematics, but biology was an insult. Bruises after failing biology, punished for punching back, made to wear corks at school, stopped school but kept the numbers and all the little bricks he could carry. Walking to the store with Mom, men sneer and spit insults at them, pretends he doesn't know what zoophilia means. She pulls his arm. Maybe this time she'll dislocate it. She never said who his father is. Maybe she doesn't know. But he's human, she assures him between drags of cigarette smoke. Ooh. Huh. Interesting. Because I thought these said Minotaurs no longer exist. But now we got this guy. Huh. There was a kindness in family. They're the only people who see fit to ignore him. But that's not enough. Ran away, spent a while in the wilderness, then the city. Looked for a job, returned home. Tried again. This time stole enough money to get a bus to someplace further away. Slept under a bridge, always during the day. Night hides his horns and muzzle. The aisle empties when he goes to the store. He's asked to leave the burger joint with a note on the bag to not eat in. Good enough for his stolen money, but not for his presents. Oof. Fail. Try again. Fail worse. Go home. Howdy there. Did I disturb you? Even before his consciousness awakens, the Minotaur has already planted his hooves on the soil and pushed himself deeper into the alcove. His ears flicker, eyes leap around until they focus on the man blocking the sun. He can't catch any features, and in fact, an itch at the back of his head makes it impossible to tell what he's looking at. What is my Twitch? I will just give you a link. I'll link it for everybody, actually. Hold on 1 second. Because, like I said, I don't feel, you know, just to let people know in all seriousness, for new people that follow me here, if, you know, visual novels aren't your thing, it's not for everybody, that's perfectly fine. That's why, like I said, I do Twitch too, you know, and I don't feel insulted. Like, if this is boring to you, I understand. Like, this is a lot of reading, and I would consider this visual novel to require advanced reading skills, and advanced writing skills in general, and it's not for everyone. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, my YouTube channel is predominantly for my furry stuff, and if you're not interested in that, you know, that's fine. But that's, like I said, that's also why I have a Twitch where I can play more normal stuff, more casual stuff, where, you know, I can just relax. Not that this isn't relaxing to me, but you know, you get what I'm saying. But anyway, Echo Blade, that is my Twitch. I try to stream at least 2 days out of the week. I might stream today, I'm not sure. It depends on how long I'm streaming this. But if not, I'll definitely stream tomorrow before I head to work. Currently, I'm playing through Spyro on my Twitch channel. Spyro, and I'm about to start Hades. Because I started playing Hades and I love it. Oop, excuse me. Alright, anyway. But like I said, I don't mind if people, this is not for everybody, and that's perfectly fine. I don't mind. That's why, like I said, I use two different gaming channels. Words cross his mind, his lips tighten. Is the man talking to him, or is there someone else just out of sight? Maybe, the Minotaur thinks, he hasn't seen me. He parts his lips and draws a breath, slow through his teeth to not make a sound. I came at a bad time, didn't I? I'm awfully sorry to bother you. But I was passing by, came down here to sort a personal issue, and a family friend made it a point that I should meet you. The man takes a notepad from his back pocket. Each page flip is accompanied by a crisp ruffling of paper. He scans it before going on. Again, sorry to bother, and I know what I'm about to say will sound strange, but would you happen to own or live in a hotel? Excuse me, no, that's an awfully dumb question, alright? You think I'd be sleeping here if I owned a hotel? Yes, forgive me, I had to make sure. Can't leave any stone unturned. The man gives his notepad another once-over, followed by a sigh as he runs a hand through his hair, slicking it back. When I was passing through the village, I was told that you were looking for a job. I happen to need some help, and can make it worth your while. The Minotaur grinds his teeth while searching for malice in the stranger's voice. Every word dissected, every movement judged. You must have got the wrong guy. The stranger shifts his weight on his legs. Perhaps he frowns, but the Minotaur can't tell for sure. It's like there's a gaping hole where the man's face should be. No, I'm sure you are exactly who I'm looking for. I was told I could find a... There it is. That same thing in all men and women. The Minotaur tightens his fist and lets his head droop a tad lower, pointing his horns towards the man. Oh, what? Kindred spirit. Someone who can appreciate my situation. Birds of a feather flock together and all that. The itch of the back of his mind grows maddening. The man's voice sounds choppy, or perhaps the Minotaur's ears are failing him. Let me cut to the chase. It will all make a lot more sense if I just show you. The man takes a booklet from his pocket, opens it, and swipes a finger on a page. I mean, essentially that's kind of what it is. Echo Blade, a visual novel is it. I'm gonna be blunt with you. A visual novel is a fancy electronic book, and I hate to sound like that, but at the end of the day, that's pretty much what it is. Except you have a few different choices. It's a game in it. A visual novel is a game in the loosest sense of the term. Basically. The itch at the back of the Minotaur's mind dies down, but in turn his vision starts to feel wrong. He keeps staring at the man's blurred, unreadable features. For a moment they even seem... There, all better now? The sun disappears behind the horizon, and at last the Minotaur can see the creature's face. His heart skips a beat as he leaps upright. Oh, it's a peacock! That face. Like I said before, nothing against the artist. Nothing against the artist that works on this, but I think the art is passable, but sometimes you see some of the faces, the facial expressions in his art style just make me laugh. They're so funny. What the fuck are you? A man. Or so it would seem to most, but in truth I am like you, just different here and there. People just call me P, so pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Dream, the Minotaur thinks. This has to be a dream. He draws a breath that sticks in his throat. Bile and fire bubbled to the top of his stomach. Well, doesn't matter for now. Now that you can see me for what I am, let me explain my situation. I'm here in the Hinterlands to deal with a certain family matter. My grandfather, God rest his soul, spent a good deal of his life chasing after a very special place. He called it the Minotaur's Hotel. It's supposed to be around this area, but he could never find it. And yes, as you can see, I am not really a human, am I? Neither was my grandpa, of course. Chances are this hotel I'm looking for is quite peculiar too. So I want to prove my dear old man right, and as luck would have it, I have heard of a story about a Minotaur of all things here in the valley. That can't be coincidence, right? So I came here to see with my own eyes, and sure enough, you look like the real thing. And let me tell you, finding you was no easy task. The closer I got to this pond, the less sense the roads made. There's something fishy going on here. Even if you have no information about the Minotaur's Hotel, I still have a job for you. Oh, title drop? Yeah, I didn't even think about it. You're right. Title top, Minotaur Hotel. I just cannot believe this is a coincidence. Why, a part of me wants to believe that fate's conspired to set this in motion. So I want to hire you. I believe you might be able to help me find what I'm looking for. Sound good to you? The last lingering remnants of sleep flee the Minotaur's mind. His hooves scrabble in the dry clay and his teeth grind together as his heart burns. If this ain't a dream, then I must be cursed or going mad. Or this is the monster trying to trick me. How do I know this ain't some kind of trick? That you aren't a devil or something. Devil? Now that's... Have you ever seen one before? He hasn't. Never in all his years has he witnessed anything that, without a shadow of a doubt, broke the veil of mundane life. But he's heard the stories. There's a lot of weird things here. You never know. I see. Well, I can tell you I'm not a devil, but I won't be able to give you much proof of it. I mean, how could someone prove he isn't a devil? I wouldn't know a test to verify it. That said, seeing as you don't seem convinced, I can sweeten the deal a bit. You saw my trick, right? My very own human disguise, with which no one can see what I really am. So all thanks to this little booklet here, what we call a charm. It sure is difficult not being human, isn't it? Doubly so when you have no way of blending in. Judging from what I've heard about you in the village, it seems as if you've never had one of these. On any other night, saying such things to the Minotaur would spark a fight, especially when spoken in the peacock's tone of blith condensation. I can't say some of these words. but not here. Sorry, I was laughing. I just looked at my friend posted something. I was laughing. But not here, not now. The Minotaur gazed at the booklet, and despite the haze of his fear, visions overtake him. To become a man, and as soon as the words pierced his thoughts, everything comes unlatched. Dreams sprang forth, a fountain of possibilities he had sealed in a vase and refused to think about. Before you get any ideas, I'm sorry to say that taking mine won't do you any good. For the most part, they only work for the person they were made for. But that's no issue at all. I can make one for you right here and now. With that, the Minotaur realizes just why people sell their souls. You're speaking more and more like a devil, you know that? A stranger comes up, you ain't even human, and now you're talking about this weird stuff. If I ain't dreaming, then you must be a devil. That's clear as day. Not a dream, no sir, not a devil either. That's far too Christian for my taste. I'm much more of a, shall we say, old-fashioned kind of guy. Much like you, I imagine. Although, I suppose what I have to say won't do much good for my cause. What do you mean? How to put this? Let me speak frankly. I want something from you, and I'm willing to pay for your time. That said, the situation you are in, it's wrong. Any scary games? Oh, you know what? It is getting later in the year. I don't know, Batman. You got any ideas? I could play. There's a classic. There's a cliche of Amnesia. I have all the Amnesia games except for the third one. I have Alien Isolation. I have Resident Evil games, but I've already played Resident Evils, most of them, on my Twitch. So I don't know. Give me you guys are more than welcome to give me some horror ideas, and I can stream on YouTube. People like us aren't supposed to walk around showing our true selves. That's the law, and we could be punished for it. You're lucky in a way. This place is such a hellhole that gossip about you never traveled too far. Perhaps it's bad luck, seeing as you have gotten help long ago if you lived somewhere decent. I can make a charm for you right here now. By the end of this night, you'll have your very own human disguise. All I want is that you consider taking my offer. I'll pay you to help me find this place, the Minotaur's Hotel. It shouldn't take long. It'll only be here for 2 weeks at most. And to speed it up even further, while we're working together, I'll teach you everything there is to know about, well, not being human. Do we have a deal? Echo Blade, go ahead. You got a game for me? Go ahead, send it. I'll probably actually make a post, too, on my community post asking people to give me some sound sleep from across the pond. Grasshopper and Cicada. Damn it! I'm missing words up. Cicada's singing. Birds letting out distant cries while returning to their nests. Ripples emerge from the center of the pond itself to dance upon its otherwise placid surface. The concentric waves lace their way to the shore, displacing thin clouds of sediment with their motion. A splashing sound like a distant sea inside one's own head. The Minotaur draws a breath and hunches over. Hummingbirds peck at the back of his head, raising each fur strand one at a time. It's like a dream of stitched together visions. Going to the grocery store in the village where all the products have a thin coating of road dust, where people perk their ears to catch his footsteps. The unending humiliation that comes with purchasing something as simple as a candy bar. Gritting his teeth against their stares, ignoring their disgust of him, as if he bore some terrible deformity. Being ignored in turn. Best not to interact with the cursed. It's not really a horror game. I'm looking for horror games, Echo Blade. His mind goes back to when he was younger, when he would wear hoodies to cover up his face, panic when his horns got too wide to be hidden away. The hummingbirds dig their beaks into his skin as yet more visions rise. Being out in the streets like any other unassuming passerby, out and about without hiding away from fear and hatred, those who once stared at him now unaware of his identity. He could make a new name for himself, born anew. This is his salvation. And this man, he must be a demon. There must be a catch. Then again, he's damned already. If he wasn't fated for hell for the day he was born, then circumstances sure had left him with no other choice. Any prices were fit to be a human, even his soul. You don't have to lie. None of this can be true, and if it is, I know you must want something more. I'm still not convinced you ain't a devil, sir, or if there's something else you're after. But even if you are and you intend on taking my soul, consider the deal taken. I'll do the job and whatever else you ask of me. Just make me into a human, no matter the cost. You're funny, kid. Very well, I'll pack the sealed. Let's not waste any time, eh? Tell me, what's the water like in the pond over there? Salty and dead. Nothing grows there. You better not drink it. That won't do it then. We need a proper place to do it. I believe I saw a crossroads on my way here. The charm will be stronger if we craft it there. Let's go and start collecting dry wood on the way. We'll need to make a bonfire. Oh, there's an animation. I thought there was. I like that. There's a little animation with the thing in his mouth. Before we proceed, I'm afraid I didn't catch your name. As I said, you can call me P. P, is that really your name? My family has some peculiar traditions. My dad, Grandpa, all the men share a very complicated name. Everyone I know just calls me P. It's easier. The Minotaur can't help but feel excitement stampeding in his chest. For a moment, he allows himself to fall into the fantasy of performing a mysterious ritual with this unscrupulous man. His chest swelled as he recalls a nickname he was proud of, and how powerful he felt when people spoke it.
Then you can call me Storm. It's what people used to call me.
Storm? Very well. Nice to make your acquaintance. Now, before we start, would you mind telling me a bit about yourself? The foal stampeding in his chest grows still and hides in the tall grass. His lips are stretched taut. Storm snorts and looks away. P doesn't even raise an eyebrow. He picks the lad apart, clothes, accent, emotions, in search of a talent point he can exploit. Something vulnerable, but not so sore as to elicit a hostile reaction. You are from around here, right? A harmless enough question for the moody young man, better than asking about his clothes.
I'm born and raised here in the hinterlands.
I don't know what hinterlands accent is, so I'm gonna keep doing my accent. P remains quiet. Silence breeds discomfort when the unwary often fill. The Minotaur's heart must be skipping a beat, or perhaps he feels small and vulnerable against the peacock. He snorts then speaks.
But my mom's family's from up north, near the coast.
I see. That's a rough place, isn't it?
No rougher than this hellhole. Good for fishing, though. Damn cold waters and windy as a tornado.
The peacock's voice comes out monotone as if he was responding to something the Minotaur revealed without knowing. Yes. A shiver runs up the Minotaur's spine as he feels watched by a dozen pairs of eyes. He looks around but finds no one else there with him. Do you come from a family of fishermen? The fear of being watched loosens the Minotaur's lips.
Kinda. My grandpa on my side is one.
Oh, Granny! I didn't think about Granny. Granny, Slender Man. Well, Slender Man, I've played. Granny I've never played, though. I've heard of... I know Markiplier played it, but I've never played. I've never played that one. He looks back again at nothing.
My brother's fathers are fishermen, too.
The peacock's gaze grows harsher. How many brothers do you have?
6, no sisters. I'm the youngest. Mom didn't want to have any more kids after me. Oof.
I see, so you are the 7th. Petulance returns to the Minotaur.
Does that matter for something?
I'm not sure. There's a local legend. The 7th son of the 7th son is born special, shall we say. The folklore says he'll be a werewolf. Any chance your father might have been a 7th son as well?
Afraid I can't answer that question. Never met him.
Night shift. I haven't heard of night shift. I see.
Ma always said he was a man.
Puzzle pieces drift into the peacock's mind. He speaks without realizing he already wishes to crack the lad to pieces and see every bit of his past. The thought of finding the tug gives way to the fascination of investigating. Maybe he was, yes.
What's that supposed to mean?
He might have been human, yes, and you might just happen to have been born a Minotaur due to a freak event of nature. It's rare, but can happen. He might have been someone like me, carrying a charm to appear human. Maybe your daddy is waiting for you at that Minotaur's hotel I'm looking for. The peacock hopes the Minotaur will take the bait, but his face remains as hard to read as ever.
Fuck off with that. Answer me this one question, city guy. If there was another fucking Minotaur around these parts, don't you think everyone would know about it? Look, it might sound idiotic, but maybe your granddad was bullshitting and there is no Minotaur hotel, or whatever.
Well then, does that mean you're rejecting my offer? Sir, I'm telling you, try to do all these voices sometimes. Well then, does that mean you're rejecting my offer? Then fuck right off. Not so tough now, huh? Look, I said I'd make it worth your while. You'll get paid no matter what, even if this hotel doesn't even exist. You'll get your damn charm tonight and your money when we are done, but now, let's be honest here for a minute. You see, kid, assuming for a moment your daddy is someone like you and me, I'm doing what he should have done 20 years ago. So here are your options. You can stay here, behave, and I'll teach you all about how to pass off as a human, or you can leave and go back to being homeless. A flash of clarity cuts through the Minotaur's mind as the pecking order is established. Would he grovel and beg? He would, without a second thought.
Teach me. I want to be human.
That's better, lad. First off, we can't become human. At most, we can pass off as one. That's the first thing, just so you don't set your expectations too high.
What's the difference?
You'll see. You'll still be, well, you, but others won't notice it. It's exclusively a perception thing. You're carrying a charm around that makes everyone else think you're a human.
If they touch me, will they figure it out?
Depends. If your charm is really, really good, they won't find anything wrong. You'll feel just like a regular person. But that level of quality is usually so expensive, you have to spend a lifetime working to pay for it. Or you can work a government job, that'll get you some of the good stuff. Most people can't exactly do that though, so we settle for something more accessible. Nowadays you can get a good enough effect of a passport.
A passport? Is that a fucking joke?
No, it's exactly what it sounds like. You get a passport done, it has to be one of those e-passports with a little chip inside it, and they make the chip into a charm. So long as you always carry a passport with you, that's it.
You gotta be kidding me. All this time I could have just carried a passport.
All the humiliation of a lifetime, a freaking school, a wretched home, an abomination in the streets, all of it could have been avoided. If only he had a booklet. It's nothing short of an insult. I'm sorry, I can't imagine what you've been through.
No, you can't.
The peacock braces for another outburst, but the boy breathes in, grits his teeth, shakes, and breathes out.
So we just walk into where do I get a passport done? Just walk in and ask for it?
Well, yes, in theory, but it's illegal for us to walk around without a charm in the first place. You'd get arrested.
Then how do I? If the passport is the charm, but I can't get the passport without a charm.
Yes, quite the catch-22. But don't worry, kid. We're gonna fix it tonight, right here. There are also homemade charms. They're not nearly as good as a passport, but hey, it'll do the job.
Then how good is it? What's the catch? There must be one. I'm not stupid.
The catch is that the low-quality charms have side effects. The specifics depend on how it was created, which process was used. More often than not, they'll make it hard for people to remember you. Mind you, the passports usually have this problem too, but it's really bad with the homemade ones.
Will people just forget I ever existed?
No, it's more like, with a homemade charm, people who meet you while you're in the skies will forget they ever saw you after about an hour or two. It makes it real hard to keep a job, you know, or to make friends, date.
No.
No?
That's not a bad thing, it sounds great. I've been treated like shit my whole life. I can't buy groceries without people looking at me like I'm diseased or something. I've been remembered my entire life, and I hate it. I hate this. Being forgotten sounds like the best thing in the world to me. I don't care what it costs. I'd chill for that. Let's do it. Make me the charm. Please.
Good, then I'll explain the process. There are many ways one can go about making a charm. In ancient Greece and Rome, it would involve sacrificing an animal to the gods to imbue its bones with magical properties. The Christians didn't appreciate these pagan rituals. Instead, they made a sacrament through which crosses become charms. Just a century ago, you'd need a priest to have a charm made. However, times have changed, and now it's all a matter for the state. If you know what and who to look for, you can get a government-issued charm, but that usually requires having one with you already, at least so you can collect it discreetly. So each method can be harder or easier to realize depending on our circumstances. Evidently, we don't have cattle to sacrifice, and I doubt there's a priest nearby who knows the sacrament. There is a traditional Latin American way, however. It requires very little in terms of materials, and what it does I can readily provide. It'll take a while, and the charms it produces are quite peculiar, however, but that shouldn't be an issue. You'll have to follow my instructions too.
Just say what I gotta do. Whatever it is, I'll do it.
Good, it's simple, really. We'll start a fire, and then we'll each tell a story. We'll need to keep weaving more of them together to make your charm have lasting power. After we finish our stories, I will give you a feather and you will throw it into the fire alongside whatever you want to be your charm. This is the Latin American way. We tell stories, weave them together to a contract. You'll make an oath with humanity itself, built as an extension of my own, which, that's enough preamble already, kid. Are you ready and on board with this so we can start?
I'd be an idiot if I wasn't.
Glad to hear it. So... you have a firm handshake, kid.
So do you, for a city boy.
Don't provoke me. You have no idea what this city boy is capable of.
Sure then. Nice grip for an old man.
You really are a piece of shit, aren't you?
Yeah, get used to it. I know you need me to find your hotel.
Okay, I'll let you win this one. Now, should we get started on the charm?
Thought you'd never ask.
The peacock knows that an oath is a tenuous thing, given power by the relation of one thing to another. A complete thought to its dependent clause, a subject to an object, a bird to a minotaur. What inconsequential fluff can he reveal to connect to the storm? This boy holds secrets to a deepest wish under lock and key. An authoritative flick of a wing sufficed to get the bull's attention, to make the wheels in the pair's head screech to a grinding halt. Since you'll be working for me, I'll begin with the one story you need to know. Where to stop? You ever seen anything supernatural over here, Storm? The Minotaur looks away to the roads beyond sight. That tells the peacock what he really wants to know.
Plenty of weird stuff happens here, but I don't know if it's magic or what.
The peacock rolls his eyes. The brat tenses up as though walking a tightrope and floundering for balance. In that moment, he understands better than ever before what it is to be under a hierarchy. He knows that he must take care not to offend his new benefactor, or risk losing his chance at humanity. Whatever his feelings, he must agree to anything the peacock says. Yeah, this place is supposed to be the last hole where one can find magic in this side of the country. Radio, television, the internet, wherever those go, the weaker the magic becomes. We don't quite know why, but it is what it is. And this place, the Hinterlands, by virtue of how big of a shithole it is, kept itself free of all sorts of progress and basic civilization. Oh, sorry, I didn't offend you for...
Nah, I hate it here. People always treated me like shit. There's no jobs except for mining salt, and they won't take me even for that. Nothing to do, nothing to see, nothing worth saving in this hole.
The peacock smiles through the natural curvature of his beak. Storm's tactic mission stirs the breeze in his lungs until it emerges a billowing, prideful snort. I'm glad we agree with each other. Well, with that in mind, our story begins 80 or so years ago. I suppose it was not much like this one when someone much like me, that's my grandfather, ran away from this place. He lived most of his life here, and I don't know the details, but things went south and he found himself how to run for his life. He ran as far as he could and then spent 3 days in the wilderness, hiding during the day and turning toward the coastline during the night. On the fourth night, he met a traveler who gave him food and water. Nice man, I imagine. Sees someone running away and doesn't ask any questions, just offers help. Might have known he was better off not knowing. The wanderer, however, knew how to read the stars and gave Grandpa a few words of advice. Go northwest, you'll be safe there. But Grandpa didn't follow his advice. He heard stampeding horses from the direction, so he went to the east, and there he found a bus station. It was the middle of the night and there was no one there. He checked the schedule. Perhaps a bus would come and take him northwest. Not 5 minutes later, one showed up. The driver was a creature disguised as a human. He didn't speak Portuguese and his clothes had strange lettering. Grandpa boarded, they set off eastward, and he was taken to a strange place he called the Minotaur's Hotel. He told me it was created before the Tower of Babel was destroyed, that a fragment of its old human magic survived there, making it so all could understand each other regardless of language. The place was governed by a Minotaur who had the power to make diamonds appear in the palm of his hand. No one went hungry there. Even the most wretched person could find a home and a job. But as you could guess, something happened. Grandpa came back home all messed up one day and then set off to find that hotel again. But he never did. Spent years searching, went back to his job, met his wife, had his kid, but never stopped going out for days at a time to try and find the place. Pa thinks he was crazy, that this hotel never existed. Grandma's still around and still resents every night Grandpa spent on his search. As for Gramps, it's been a few weeks since he passed on. I'd like to say he told me the story again on his deathbed and asked me to find it. The hotel. Now, wouldn't that be grand? But that would be a lie. A sweet one, but a lie nonetheless. I wasn't there when he died, and by that time his mind had been gone for a long while. I'd like to think he felt some freedom when his time came. But I suppose one can never be freed without passing on a burden to another. Now that he's gone, that old wanderlust has taken me over. I want to find that hotel, clear my grandpa's name, prove he was right all along. A resolute look passes across the avian's features. If there was vulnerability in his speech, it's been thrice folded and stashed in the corner of his mind. From where he stands, Storm can't help but notice how put together and proper everything about the peacock is. Plus, there's something over there that's mine. My inheritance, you could call it. I've been having dreams about this place ever since the Gramps passed on. I'm sure everything he said was true. Now it's your turn. Tell me a story. The Minotaur's eyes grow as thin as knives.
Do I really have to?
No story, no charm, no human.
What if I come up with something? Does it have to be true?
Sure, go ahead and waste our time. I'm not doing this again, however. The Minotaur looks away, this time towards the pond in his hole. He knows there is no choice, but he can't speak. Not while the hummingbirds are pecking away at the back of his head, raising each strand of fur. He scratches his neck with both hands, digging in to make the skin red raw, but the peacock ignores it. His patience grows thin. Will you really force me to interrogate you, lad? The Minotaur shakes his head, trying to swat away all the critters flying around him. A grave moo escapes from his throat. How old are you?
21.
Just give me a minute. I'm thinking. Oh wait, the storm.
Just give me a minute. I'm thinking, okay?
The peacock counts the seconds while the Minotaur loses sense of time. He keeps on scratching until whatever ailed him is gone. He draws a breath, shudders, and speaks.
Ma said my father was a man. I didn't get to know him, but she always made it clear, so don't get the wrong idea.
Again, no way it was a bull. That makes no sense. And if he was someone like me, he'd have gotten you a charm. Unless something happened to him or he doesn't know you existed. The Minotaur doesn't like the sharpness in the bird's voice, shrill and teetering on the edge of anger. But he breathes the first sigh of true relief in his life, knowing there is someone in this world who doesn't think he's a product of bestiality. Perhaps there's wetness in the Minotaur's eyes, glimmering with the fire, but the sharp-eyed peacock mistakes it for something else. Sorry for interrupting. Continue.
Well, yeah, what was I saying?
You didn't know your dad. Mom raised you, I assume.
Yeah, raised me and my 6 siblings. I'm the youngest one, and well, she couldn't have any more after I, got out.
Oh. Oof, yeah, I can imagine giving birth to him probably didn't do so good for her ovaries. Ruined is what she said. You ruined me. Not a drop of anger in her voice, although her face was covered in 2 decades worth of humiliation. She blew smoke on his face, ground the cigarette's butt out on the plastic dining room table, then threw it in the empty fruit bowl. Just stating a plain fact, inescapable. He shouldn't have been born.
Never got along with her or any of my siblings for that matter. They blamed me for stuff I didn't do.
It began simply enough, blaming him for breaking their 1 glass cup, the orange one that Ma used to drink coffee. He was 4 years old. Like an addiction, it took root and grew. Something went missing from the fridge, it was him, or if any misfortune struck, As if his existence brought bad luck, they pointed at his horns and refused to say his name. Oof, no, don't say that, Echo Blade. The Minotaur's like you? What do you mean by that? No, I don't think that's true, Echo Blade. I'm sure. No, that's not true. I like having you here. I'm pretty sure you're new, but I'm enjoying you. You're very talkative, and I like having you here. Just him, nameless, more of a concept than a person. Eyes wide open and mind silent, numb as it kept on happening. It became their drug, the reason why they couldn't get jobs and had to live off of welfare. Being angry at him was enough to justify beating their girlfriends or abandoning their kids and skipping town. Him, his name, so when used it might as well not exist. Storm was a better title, and so the lad gathers the memories, the pains, the mind unto itself.
Everyone thought things about my ma, about what she must have done to have a kid like me. Even looking at me made her angry. School treated me like shit too, so I dropped out and ran away. Thought I could make a living out there in the city or on a farm.
Well, I kind of figured you... Okay. Oh, I get that. Well, at least she got to have you. At least she had, at least she had somebody. I always feel really bad for the I always feel really bad for the women who just can't have children at all. I mean, and don't get me wrong, some people don't want kids, and that's fine. I'm a person, some people don't want kids, and I don't think there's anything wrong. If you don't want kids, you don't want kids. But, I feel really bad for people, for the people who really do want kids and can't have them, like, at all. Just can't give birth. That's really sad. Didn't last long. The farm owner could appreciate his strength and hard work, but the farmhands weren't too fond of sharing their living quarters with him. Better to quit the job than get butchered halfway through the night, he thought.
But I came back, couldn't get any luck. People here at least don't panic when they see me.
Too out of their damn minds to care.
Tried going back home to Ma, she let me in, but then she'd wake me up at night to yell.
Too out of her damn mind to know what she was doing.
So I tried going out again. Didn't work either.
Made it further, but the police started getting curious about the horned homeless man under the bridge.
That's why I live here by the pond. It's safe, no one bothers me at night. I get some gigs here and there to buy food. That's my story. Is that enough for your ritual?
A shiver crawls up the peacock's back. The air around him grows sharper. A migraine slithers over his head and burrows itself into his left eye. His legs go numb and his brain finds itself forgetting words. The Minotaur, meanwhile, looks away from the fire. The light sears his eyes. The hummingbirds peck his neck again while chanting cicadas take over his hearing. He's about to ask for help when, in a flash, it's all over. Yes, this is enough. Let's see now. A feather. This one's about to fall off. I'll say the oath now. Just accept it. The peacock closes his eyes. His feathers stand on end as if a shiver runs up his spine. You are the salt of the earth, eternal and unrelenting. Why, then, should you not be our sibling? You are the night's moon, a city buried in ash. A secret written on your chest cannot be seen. You are the salt of the earth, and what is humanity without you? Hidden, you shall not lose your worth. You'll not be trampled underfoot. You shall not die again. Blessed are you when you became our sibling. By the gift of humanity, none shall prosecute you. Neither will they accuse you of unsightly deeds. You are the light of the world, hidden from sight and shining regardless. They'll not see your origin, but will bask in your gift. You'll not be set apart, and glory will follow your footsteps. By salt and sea, take my life thread, let us swear an oath of kinship. May humanity afford the bearer of this promise protection in its bosom, much like we have tonight swapped our long-lasting threads. You shall feast and live as one of our own, bearer of kinship, and for as long as you carry the proof of this oath, none shall see your myth. By salt and sea, by the western lands, unite my bundle of humanity, and stretch its thread to this one, so he may enjoy freedom no lesser than mine. Bearer of humanity, do you pledge this honest oath to mankind for as long as your chest draws breath? This must be a dream, thinks the Minotaur, or a demon at work. And just what could be the inevitable catch, a gift like this does not come without a gut-wrenching price. But none of it matters. Consequences be damned. He will take it.
I do.
Throw the feather and your object on the flame. My gift will burn, so yours shall not. The hybrid takes out his ear gauge, puts the feather through it, and pushes both into the fire. There, try it on. Are we gonna get to see his human form? Welcome to your first night as a human, Storm. We're not gonna. Are we gonna see his human form? No, we're not. Are we? No, we didn't get to see his human form. Chapter 14: A Day at a Time. Whew. Oh, everyone, I'm not gonna end the stream, but I'm gonna go take a little break. I've been on the stream for 2 hours. I'm gonna take about a 10-15 minute break, and then I will be back. In the meantime, everyone, enjoy yourselves. I will be back in a few minutes. I just need to stretch and get some, drink something. But I'll be right back. Alright, everyone, and I am, ooh, I'm back. We are back. I'll just keep... is everyone still here? Oops, excuse me. Okay. But yeah, I'm back. Also, hello, Griffin, if you're still here. How are you? Monday. The sunlight peeks out from the horizon and breaks into a sprint to touch the hotel's outer walls. Hey, can I just say that Astrion looks so good with the wreath? I love it. I think he looks very majestic. I love it. I like it a lot. The Minotaur sits on the sofa while checking the list of guests. He slides his hooves on the hardwood floor. He scratches his cheek and looks off to the jelly purple sky beyond the window. You prepare breakfast. The apartment has been taken over by the smell of coffee and dawn. While you peel the boiled eggs, he looks up to you. Gaze held, face motionless. Then return to his papers. We're gonna hum. I'm gonna hum. You hit a boiled egg with a spoon to break its shell. With the crack, you let out the first note of the song Astrion played at the concert. You raise the pitch and follow that with the meandering song. It's like streaming a lyre, but you allow yourself to make it snappier. The Minotaur's ears flick. He gives you a sideways glance and holds it this time. There's no attempt to hide it. You smile, his tail swishes. A hoof taps the floor twice in succession as you close the song. That alone ropes you into humming through it again. On the fourth note, you notice Astrion's own rumbling. At first you are mismatched. The precise timing of each beat, the duration and pitch of the hums. It's not all ingrained in you, just yet. But you try again and do better. And better yet on the third try. By the fourth, your voices are one and the same. Breakfast is ready. While sharing a meal with the Minotaur, you continue going over all that needs to be done. What do we have on our agenda today?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Astrion takes a boiled egg, dabs it on the pile of salt on his plate, and eats it whole.
So far, your mandate has been very eventful, has it not? Every day something new, if not bickering guests, then foreman this, internet that. But those days are meant to be the exception. Ever since the hotel was created, the life of a master has been very peaceful and contemplative. Very soon you'll see that even the Argos, whom you must think is a constant fixture of the realm, in truth, is only a rare, potentially brutal hindrance. It is the same every time. Along with a new master, a fresh foreman appears to stir trouble for a while. Similar to his predecessors, but each one unique and peculiar in his own way. But they never stay for long. One day they all slither back into the recesses of the valley and disappear. After that, you'll find a solid routine. Day in, day out, business as usual. Huh? The Argos is... Yeah, hold up, let's save. I'm kind of curious. Because he said this Argos, and I'm like, is he a different one? Okay, Argos with despair is not always the same Argos. Argos with despair is not always the same? Wait, are you implying it's not always the same Argos down there in the valley? That is what I believe, yes. For you it would seem impossible to tell, of course, but a young Argos always arrives from the depths of the valley around the same time a new master takes over. They are always snakes, but each one unique and a bit different from the last. I've long held the suspicion that they change along with the masters. Centuries ago, when the first Argos appeared, he was pushier. More aggressive, if not bloodthirsty, despite never engaging in violence himself. They've become far more subtle since, or at least more skillful in persuasion. Though to be precise, Master John Marie and Clement shared the same Argos. The current one reminds me a great deal of their Argos. From what has been seen, they share the same theatricality and cheerfulness. The Minotaur breathes in and prepares to speak again, but his eyes fall upon the armband peeking from your shirt sleeve. His ears flick once and then grow still as he ruminates and picks his words. But you should not worry about the Argos. It shall not be for too much longer that he will pose any threat. Ahead of you, there is only your peaceful reign and gentle lordship. Thoughtful, trusty, straight.
Can't say I'd be opposed to that. I wasn't expecting any of this when I stumbled into owning a hotel.
It is understandable, but what did you expect, master?
Once more, he looks at the armband on your bicep.
Forgive me. What did you expect when you came here, Mark?
I was betting the deed would be an old piece of scrap paper, nothing more. I couldn't believe I'd receive ownership of a hotel, or anything of the sort, just like that. But as surprising as it may have been, I can't say it was unwelcome.
So you were enjoying your time here, I take it?
I'd have left already if I wasn't. The company is good.
I see.
Your meal is brief. It's about time to start working. After washing the dishes, Astrion takes you to another room on the hotel's ground floor.
Now that we have no pressing tasks hanging over our heads, allow me to introduce you to your office, master.
I like this office, by the way. You mean our office partner?
Yes, pardon me. Our office business partners.
Together like horn and skull. The Minotaur's ears flick back and forth. He runs a finger over the back of his neck, tightening the fur even if it stands on end. With a shake of the head and a snort, he looks to the office.
Here is where you will plan ahead for the task each staff member will be assigned for the day.
You mean sending them to exploring the valley and work on contracts?
Not exactly. Assembling exploration parties in the valley is unusual, but as long as they are cautious, and I am not present among them, there shouldn't be much of an issue of continuing to do so. As much as you may insist on elevating me to being your business partner, this call falls to you. It is your right and duty to manage the hotel's staff. You may assign them tasks or allow them some time off to enjoy themselves. Do keep in mind, however, that we all have a number of daily obligations. It is not every day we will have time for exceptional tasks such as research or exploration, but when we do...
Astrion grabs a notebook from the table and flips through the page. They're covered in notes and schematics written in bright purple ink.
We could go over Miss Greta's notes and see if she has left any good ideas for us.
Reasonable. Well, time to get to work then.
Indeed. I'm going out to the reception now, but before I go, how does your arm feel? Is the armband causing any discomfort?
Oh, not at all. I can't even feel it most of the time. It's almost like it isn't there. I'd go as far to say it's nearly incorporeal. Ugh. I only ever remember it's there when I look in the mirror. Is this actually made of lead? Should I worry about heavy metal poisoning?
That should not be a concern. I'm relieved to hear it does not discomfort you. It was never my intention to.
Don't worry about it. This is nothing.
You do not have to pretend, my lord. I mean, Mark. It was unbecoming of me to propose the idea and far too proud of me to let you go on with it.
No, there's no reason for that, Astrion. I'm telling you exactly how it is. This armband is nothing. And even if it was, it's the least I could do. And now let's get to work and have a nice day, shall we?
You are a very peculiar master, Mark, but in no way unpleasant. I shall see you later, then.
See ya. Watch a daily agenda tutorial. Oh, we got some new stuff going on. Let's see. You now have full control over your daily activities. On top of managing the R&D and exploration teams, you can now choose how you spend your time on the daily agenda screen. The left side of the screen shows your current teams. Click on the Manage Teams button to manage R&D and exploration as usual. The middle of the screen shows a list of daily tasks you can perform, such as working on side projects or spending time with your staff. Click on these and your current plan for the day will be set. Okay. You can also customize Astrion's appearance by clicking the Customize Astrion button on the top right, or look at pending R&D projects by clicking the Pending Projects button. The bottom of the screen shows your current plans for the day. You can change it by selecting a different activity or clicking the Cancel Plan button. When your planning is finished, click the Confirm Plan button to continue. You'll perform your daily activities and meet up with your teams at the end of the day. Watch Daily Agenda Tutorial. Okay, I already did that. Staff Route Tutorial? If a staff member is not assigned to any teams or is not injured or disabled, you can now choose to spend time with him. Spending time with a character will help him work through his issues or give more insight on him. As a result of this personal growth, the character's stats can improve over time. You can see each character's route progress in the guest menu. It's up to you to balance a character's personal development with his contributions to R&D and exploration. As of this build, every staff route is a work in progress. You may get a message on the character select screen informing you that you can't currently advance a character's route past that point. Okay, skip tutorial. You can see these tutorials at any time from the help menu. Luke can advance his route. Okay. So let's see. Manage teams. So Luke's exploring. Manage teams. Can we put... Oh, we can't... Okay, so it literally is like a hardcore gameplay element. Like, I can't even make Astrion go to exploration, I guess because it's going in the valley. Like, we can't even do it anyway and have like a... that would be kind of amusing if you could still send him out into the valley, and if you do, you get like a little... You basically get a game over because you lose your arm and you bleed out. I'm just telling the Minotaur team something, a little joke ending. I'm just some dark joke humor. Some dark humor ending. Alright, so we can't send Astrion exploration anymore, so what is Luke... What happens if I send Coda to explore? Wait, no, I wanna... Hold on. Oh, okay, let's do this. So R&D team, we're gonna have Luke and then Astrion. Oh wow, contract 5, tech 2. Okay, we'll do this. So that's it. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so R&D team is gonna be Astrion and Luke, and we'll have Coda explore for once. Customize. I'm gonna change his clothes for once. No, we'll keep the gold armband. I like the gold armband. I'm gonna change his clothes. Let's try... Ooh. Oh. See, suspenders by themselves look weird. Let's give him the 40s outfit. We haven't had him wear the 40s outfit in a little while. Fur color's fine. Neckwear is fine. Okay. And pending projects. Ooh, mythical gem. I need 20 tech, 0 contract, and 15 materials. Really? That ending sort of reminds... I've never heard of that game. Lords of Aswick. I've never heard of that. What kind of game is it? It's like an RPG kind of thing? Okay. So I want to focus on this. I want to get the mythical gem, because everything else is not available, but I need 20 tech total. Okay, let's confirm plan. You decide to take the day off and rest until the afternoon. Let's check in on the R&D team. Your R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. Let's check in on the exploration team. Looks like your team found something. You found an old page torn off a book, a small memento of Astrion's past. You can read it by opening the files in the menu. Later that night, the guests were enraptured by Coda and Luke's tales about the Forbidden Valley and its odd creatures. All of Astrion's unsightly connections were omitted, leaving space for extortions of his and your talent as leaders. Neither did they mention Clement's betrayal, the expulsion of the former guests, the old staff's unknown fates, or Astrion's forgettable one. You and the Minotaur listened to it all from your table in a corner of the lounge. The guests' captivated gazes, so fixed they became heavy, were not altogether unpleasant. Yeah, I love the 40s outfit on Astrion. I'm not usually for like 40s, 50s attire, but like with Astrion, it looks so good. Thus a day came and passed. Sweet Mother Night and her son Sleep embraced the land and all of its dwellers. Isn't I think the Greek goddess of night is Nyx. I think that's her name. The Greek god of sleep is Hypnos. The reason I know this is, one, because I like Greek mythology, and two, I also the fact that I played Hades recently, and there's a lot of Greek gods. That's another game that's a lot of Greek mythology. Hades, the game, I mean. But dawn slits its way in as it has since time immortal. Rise now, my lord, and live again. In one of the... Hold on. Huh, that's kind of interesting. Is a book-like game. Okay, Lords of Aspiron is a book-like game. In one of the paths, you faint during a battle, and you lose your almost all of your arm, and yet get it replaced with a claw. Oh, okay. I was like, that's interesting. That's kind of funny. That's kind of similar to what I just mentioned, except you get your arm replaced. It's like in this game, if instead Astrion gives you one of his like arms, so you have like a hoof hand. Okay, manage teams. So Luke can advance his route. So how do I do? Oh, I guess, I wonder if it means Luke can't, let me see. We're not going to focus on exploration, so let's have them focus on that. Okay. Thank you, Patario 1995. Luke needs to be idle for this. Okay, because I was wondering how do you get his route. Okay, so you have to let the character rest in order to get that scene. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll let Luke. I'm really gonna get the mythical gem. How much more do I need for the mythical gem? I don't even know how much I have though right now. Pending pro. So wait, for a question then, since you seem like you know what you're talking about. Now, is that points added together over a period of time, or do I need 20 tech points at once, as well as 15 materials at once, or is it all together? Because I kind of want to get the mythical gem, but I'm guessing I might have to wait on that. Oh, also, I forgot to read the file. There was a file, right? Artifacts. Was this it? No, mementos. Folded note. Here we go. Because the Redeemer I already read, I think. Folded note and a paragraph written to a wordy forward active and mercurial former master. When asking Astrion about the note, he silently recalls having said the last line after not being able to keep up with the master, which delighted him. He demanded a poem out of it. Stop, please, O Lord of mine. Fast speaker, mover, bold. Deft organizer, slow. I listen far too fast. Okay, that's nice. Overtime. Okay, that's not too bad then. Luke can get materials by. Yeah, I know, Luke. You know what? Let's do that real quick. Hold on. Let's send Luke to go explore, and we'll do this. And then the next one, oh, I see what you mean. Surveying 3. Okay. So let me send Luke out real quick, and then the next day I will have Luke rest. He decided to take the day off and rest until the afternoon. Anything interesting? Okay, let's check in on the R&D team. Your R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. Let's check in on the exploration team. Your team found 3 raw materials. Wow, it's gonna take me a long time. Oh, it looks like you found something else. You found a petroglyph writing engraved into a slab of rock. Yeah, I know. Oh, in the central menu, okay. After sunset, Astrion went off to the rooftop. He did not outright say it, but he required privacy to ruminate on the contract you'd signed a few nights before. You provided him with all the alone time he required. Later you found Luke by the hearth, chatting with a haggard bunch of guests about his personal misadventures. Their clothes had seen better days. None of them shared a language or origin. All grasped cups overflowing with sweet beverages in their shaking hands. Unshackled by the laws of the outside world, Luke evangelized about the mythical beings, their tales, and magic. The guests tightened their grips on their mugs. Magic, fantasy, and the hearth kindled their weary hearts. Food and drink healed their bodies. And Luke's unyielding, screeching laughter, as unpleasant as it sounded, planted within them a dream of prosperity, dignity, and bounty. So this is going to take me a while to get the mythical gem then. Because I only got 3. Okay, so now we will let... There's no point in letting Astrion and Coda rest because it doesn't say that they're free right now. So we're gonna let Luke rest, and then for this day, you know, we'll keep him on the contract. We're not gonna send anybody out to explore. Finish. Hang out with staff. Astrion and Coda's next scenes are not available for this build. Ah, okay. How do I hang out? Oh, your current plan for the day is hang out with Luke. Okay, confirm plan. There we go. While Coda and Luke are getting along a little better lately, Coda still insists on the Griffin not running his restaurant while the Dragon is busy helping the R&D team are exploring the valley. Luke has decided instead to hang around reception, greeting the new guests and helping them with their luggage. And that is where you find him today. He decided to spend some time with them. You know, despite our time together, I don't think I know all that much about you, Luke. What's your story?
You finally want to get to know me better, partner. Thought you'd never ask.
Wait, no, that's not what I meant.
You know, there's this real
Oh, hold on, everyone. I'll be right back. Give me like 10 minutes. I'll be right back. Sorry everyone, I was sorry everyone. I was grabbing food. Anyway, I'm back. Alright. You know, there's this real private place I found where we could relax for a while. You would top. Luke, this is terribly inappropriate. I know, just pulling your leg. I may not be the brightest bulb, but I sure ain't dumb enough to shit where I eat. I was like, just ask your boss like you have sex with him. So you wanna know about little old me? Sure, I guess I do have some stories to tell. I was born and raised on a tiny farm in the middle of Texas, partner. A little place called Elgin. You are not the first person to say that, Echo. I remember when I first saw him, I was like, he looks like, he's very hungry he is hungry. He's very hungry for something. I can't say it though, because this is YouTube and family friendly. Now I know I look good, but I'm quite a bit older. I was born in the 1920s, and like any good, self-respecting American boy, I enlisted to fight in the Second World War. My brothers, I have many of them went too. We had our adventures overseas, and as you can guess, not all of us returned home. Can't say what each one of my siblings thought, but well, our pa fought in the First World War. So, Luke is Captain America confirmed. Luke is Captain America confirmed. He said 1920s. I'm pretty sure. I think Captain America was born in like 1920s. Oh man, that's fun. Oh, that's funny. Oh no. Oh no. Captain America, what happened to you? The furry fandom got him. Can't say what each one of my siblings thought, but well, our pa fought in the First World War. I feel them expected all of us to remain in the military, make a tradition out of it. But me, I couldn't bring myself to go back to fighting. I got a lot of shit for that. So many family arguments. Captain America turned furry. Captain America's persona confirmed. But things settled down after a few years. Everyone got sick of arguing. Meanwhile, I kept myself busy, made a bit of money here and there with a few business ventures, had a brief stint working for the government, and retired early thanks to my investment. I may not look like it, buddy, but I'm real good with money. Managing funds is one of the two things I'm good at, if you catch my drift. Well, despite being retired, I'm also pretty young. Griffins like myself can live for over 200 years. So, over the last few decades, I've kept myself busy. Oh wow, 200 years. That's pretty long. Well, was that double the human? Well, a little over. The average human lifespan, I think, in our current society is like 70-something. So. But more and more you hear people living to be like in their like late 80s, early 90s now. Oh gosh, where is Winter Soldier and the Red Skull? Luke? Sam, we just, yeah, Luke, Captain America. Stop! Oh no! Are we coming out? Oh boy, guys, post your best Captain America as a furry memes, or memes or puns in the comments, please, we need them. I need them a lot. I helped raise my nephews and nieces, for instance. Too many of my brothers remained in the military, and well, they aren't around anymore. So I was the dad kind of uncle, and since a single man like myself doesn't need much to survive, I helped them get into college. Real proud of my boys and girls. But now they're all grown up, so I'm back to having adventures on my own. Which is why I'm here. Gotta keep myself busy. Don't want to go senile. I like learning about Luke. For a while longer, Luke keeps on telling you about the inescapable anxieties that come with aging. Let's check in on the R&D team. 2.5 human? Sam, that sounds like a Kingdom Hearts game. This is like the title for a new Kingdom Hearts game. Kingdom Hearts 2.5 human. Your R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. There actually are official Anthro. Oh, I have to see those. Let's check in on the exploration team. Well, no one was sent out to explore. No, they were not. Tonight it is Koda who hosts the Hearthside Circle. He gives his audience with tales about the Minotaur's hospitality and the hotel's traditions. The guests he entertains are a peculiar bunch, but they remained enraptured by his words all the same. A pair of brothers, arms covered in burns and whip marks, who are running from something closer to a butcher shop than a home. A malnourished woman in her late 20s with dull, sunken eyes and hair cut shorter than any boy's, whose hands shake with the sharp pangs of withdrawal. A silver-haired man in his 40s, pulled in during a desperate escape made necessary by writing about issues many would prefer remain unpublished. And a mother nursing a baby who refused to say a word about her past. All of them, every one of these outcasts, listen to the dragon's good news about the hotel's mission as they feast. Time often flows in circles. Just a century ago, this same scene played out. A preacher singing praises about the hotel to guests dreaming of a permanent home. I didn't even think about that. Echo, you make a good point. Somebody said in this universe, if Luke is is a furry, if Captain America's a furry, then Rocket Raccoon would probably be human. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, no! I don't want that image in my head. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, just imagine, that's so weird. People only know. Yeah, I was gonna say, I only know about Spider-Ham. I've heard about Spider-Ham. The Dare Lion Cobra Commander. Oh no, that's right. I forgot about Dare. You know how long it's been since since Dare's been on my mind? I think that was elementary school. And it was so ironic because it did absolutely nothing because everybody was still smoking weed. Smoking weed and doing drugs. Sorry, I'm nibbling on food while I do this, so. Much like tonight, their throats had twisted into knots and their chests had constricted. The grace they felt was so great it became unforgivable. Back then, they were given a future, but it was taken away by Clement and his madness, and all who pledged to accomplish the hotel's mission were lost. That won't happen again, however. Tonight, when they look at you in Astrion, masters of this land, there is dew in their eyes and a vow of silence upon their lips. Not a single word is needed. These sailors see the captains of the ship. In the lounge, the guests slouch in their seats. The sounds of cuttery and laughter fill the room. There are no conspicuous glances towards your partner, although some guests have taken to greeting you and Astrion with a warmth so contagious it kindles the hearth's flame. This is the hotel's new normal. Tonight, Astrion makes firm brushstrokes on his tablet. His eyes pore over the screen, shifting away only when he cannot contain a giggle. You let him enjoy the moment, whatever it is he's doing. Meanwhile, you entertain yourself while watching the crowd. The Cobalts are huddled together in a corner of the lounge, watching as Coda takes meals to the guests. When one of them catches you looking their way, he jumps back and frightens the others. They scurry out of the lounge, but only for a brief while. Not 10 minutes later, however, the timid vagabonds return, and this time they're there to stay. You look away and leave them be, but as the night progresses, you catch them approaching the counter. They pick up on Coda taking meals to the guests, and like children imitating an esteemed adult, do the same. Napkins, salt shakers, cutlery, even candy from the bowl behind the bar counter snatched up and handed out with artless insistence to the guests. The chubby one approaches a couple with a pair of spoons and gives them a pouting frown until they make their best attempt at eating their main course with the pre-offered utensils. Our school's dare officer was the biggest drug dealer. Wow! Capwolf is this thing that happens semi-regular. Oh, I have seen Captain America's a werewolf. That's right. Also, Sam. Yikes! That's a big. Oh, that's a big yikes. Ooh, that's a yikes. The darker Cobalt makes sure everyone has a clean napkin, while the lighter one struggles with the notion that coffee-flavored candy, that heaven sent blessing bestowed only upon the most worthy, is an inadequate appetizer. In due time, you two are graced with a spoon and expected to use it, despite not yet having a meal. How do you accept this gift? Graciously, enthusiastically, gratefully. Oh, what should we choose, guys? Oh, what should I do? Hold on, let's save. Which one should I choose? Huh. Graciously and enthusiastically means really excited. Gratefully will be kind, and graciously would be very respectful. So should we be very respectful, very eager, or kind? Which one? Come on, guys. Which one? I don't know which one to choose for this. I don't know if it really matters or not either, because they're all like nice options. Okay. Echo says kind. So you can decide gratefully. That's what it means. Gratefully just, essentially means kind. Alright, let's do gratefully. Oh, there we go. Gratefully. As much as your sitting position will allow, you bow down to the kind server, which is met with an astute nod from the lizard. You do note, however, that the Cobalt was gratefully. You do note, however, that the Cobalt was holding the spoon by the wrong end, and there's no telling when he last washed his hands. You pretend to stir your water with it. He cannot uncover your charade. He's too short to see what is happening on the table. Thank you, that's very kind of you. The little lizard puffs up his chest as though he could swallow your words and grow fat on praise alone. What a grateful little fellow. Recognition, nay, honor shall be his. May I ask your name? Eat. He recoils and cowers before looking inward to the core of his soul for the strength to face your inquiry. He takes a step forward and makes the truth of his being known to thee. Groggy. Groggy? Now, that's quite a name. Oh man, there's more choices! Look how many choices I have for this! Whoa! It's strong and firm like a warrior's. It is quite befitting of an honorable knight. It betrays a wealth of wisdom within you, what one would expect of a fine scholar. Truly fitting for a handsome fellow such as you. Oh boy, which one should I choose for this one? I'm thinking the bottom two are probably not a good idea, because to me the Cobalts seem like they're more worried about strength. I would think warrior, maybe knight, but I don't know. Maybe I should go with strong and firm. I'm gonna say, let me say it quick. I can't believe there's 5 choices for that. I'm like, really? 5 choices? Why are you doing this? Okay, we're gonna do. I'm gonna do strong and firm. Strong and firm. Greggy beams at your stream of compliment. What a pleasure it is to have one's talents recognized. The very top one, and then somebody said knight. Now, if you'd be so kind, could you tell me your friends' names?
They are Zipto and No. They're my brothers.
I see. All of you do share the same fierce look. There's no doubt about it. Mighty blood flows in your lineage. Wouldn't you say so, Astrion? The Minotaur is too focused on the internet's unfathomable wisdom to respond. Well, as you may have guessed, my buddy is called Astrion, and I'm Mark. It's nice to make your acquaintance, Scruggy. Allow me to show you a magic trick as just reward for your efforts. 2 people said at night. It's too late. I chose. I'm sorry. You cup your hands together and hum the song Astrion taught you. The hotel groans ever so slightly as you issue your command. Let your hands overflow with wealth. Your sorcery is too great for the little lizard's mind. He shields his eyes from your grace and cowers. When the lights return, your hands are overflowing with riches. 7 opals, 6 rubies, 5 chunks of lapis lazuli, 4 sapphires, 3 emeralds, 2 jade stones, and 1 diamond. All on a bed of lesser... Holy crap! Opals? We've got opals and rubies, sapphires, emeralds, diamonds? Whoa! That's a lot. Wait, I'm trying to remember, because I know in some lores dragons eat rare gems. Do kobolds eat rare gems, or do they just want the money? Or do they just hoard it? I know dragons usually... I know dragons for some myths with dragons are they hoard gems and wealth, gems and gold and that kind of stuff, and then other myths they eat gems. I don't know how kobolds work. I'm not too well versed in kobolds. Do kobolds eat gems, or do they collect them? So it is true then, sorcerers do exist, and their kind souls appreciate the servitude of even a lowly kobold. Groggy is now witness to the Minoh mystery. He swipes away the worthless crystals and pockets instead the true treasures, the copper, iron, bronze, and forever valuable pyrite. Oh wow, he didn't even take the crystals. He just took the heavy metal, like the metal ones. Scream! Secretary General Groggy. And then he runs off, leaving behind only the pitter-patter of his grubby feet and the pile of gemstones in your hand. Oh well. You hum and summon a glass cup where you can put the crystals. It'll make a nice decoration for this table. By the 12, you have grown quite familiar with your powers and duties. You taught me well. Only the powers, the duties in the hotel's mission. Those you have cultivated yourself. What can I say? I enjoy it. Giving a home to those who are lost is a worthwhile goal. You, of course, are chief among them. By this armband and by my honor, I'll make sure no villains will bring harm to my partner. The Minotaur takes one of the crystals, a lapis lazuli, and examines its surface. Such a honeyed tongue. You're only saying this to bring my guard down. As soon as you have the chance, you will strike. But as we discussed, I don't have it in me to do so. Besides, what could I stand to gain? Don't I have enough precious gemstones as is? Then it must be knowledge you seek. You'll demand I deliver unto you all the secrets of the gods. If only. I'm afraid I have a little interest in meddling with the Olympians. I've had more than enough already. Are you sure? Are there no questions stuck in your throat? Perhaps about, let us say, life after death? You do have a point. It's only human to be curious, especially about that. Indeed. Well, what can I say? The realm of Hades. Wait, you're just giving out your divine secrets just like that? Wasn't I supposed to gain your trust and bring your guard down first? Perhaps you already have. At long last, my honey tongue brings me blessings. By all means, proceed. The realm of Hades was quite enjoyable, my lord. Forgive me, Mark. It is just that thinking back to Hades gives my chest a faint ache. I cannot help but speak with all of my reverence. The Christians must think of Hades like a hell of fire and brimstone, but that is not the case. At least not as far as I witnessed and what little I saw of it. The heroic and righteous were granted a place in the Elysian fields, an island where they could enjoy existence without toil and blessed with all sorts of graces. Most mortals were sent to the asphodel meadows, as was I, seeing as I had little to no heroic qualities. There we existed in much the same way as we lived, although I took the chance to reinvent myself. I spent no more than 3 years in Hades. In that little time, however, I climbed all the way from border patrol to serving under Lord Hades and Lady Persephone and their royal guard. Lord Hades would often call for me to serve as a sparring partner. We had many sporting fights. That's why I learned of the Catonic fighting style. He was a somber god, a soft-spoken man, tasked with a heavy burden, but he was never unfair or unkind, and he led by example first and foremost. The living had no liking for him, but among the dead, he was a cherished monarch. And Lady Persephone, the underworld's joy, was worshipped for all the gifts she provided to the living. I'd see. Were you ever treated differently for being a Minotaur? Oh, the answer to that question may surprise you, my lord. Mark. For a moment there, I felt so young. In any case, to answer your question, Lord Hades held quite a liking towards some of my ancestors. Some would even joke that he favored me because of my bullish features.
I cannot know if he ever did in truth, but regardless, I enjoyed my time in his service.
I see. That's not how most people would imagine Hades being like.
Any new experience can seem quite frightful and daunting. For the living, death is the newest and most unknown. It makes sense to fear it, even if it is not so much to fear.
That's true. I suppose it's comforting in a way, knowing what the great beyond will be like.
I am not so sure that will be the same experience for you, Mark. I was told that different people go to different realms, depending on who they worship in life.
I like that as an afterlife idea. Huh. You know what? I like hearing this because I'm working on the story right now, and I needed to figure out how I was going to write the afterlife. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Ooh, here's a good question, though. What about for somebody like me that's agnostic? Huh? And what happens to those who are agnostic or atheist?
I do not know. The specifics were never laid out in full to me, or anyone I knew. It was not exactly relevant to us.
I see. Well, that's already a lot more than I ever expected to know about any afterlife. I was kind of curious because I was like in this universe, because in real life myself I'm agnostic. I'm glad you shared that with me. You're quite talkative tonight.
Am I? I was reminiscing just now while reading, which may have loosened my tongue a little. Would you believe I found a number of old texts in ancient Greek? These new languages are tricky for me. Meanwhile, reading ancient Greek is quite comforting. Speaking with such strict word orders must be exhaustingly boring, but perhaps you are used to them. I cannot find anything in my Minoian, however. It is a pity.
As far as I know, the Minoan language was lost ages ago. It would be extremely difficult to find any surviving text, or anyone who would know how to read it in the first place.
But I am here. I still remember it. Master, Mark, please state my curiosity. The internet allows for things to be sent, correct? Is there a way for me to send in my language?
I'm afraid that's not really how it works. We don't have translation magic outside. We can't just send a whole language over. But if you still remember it well enough, you could try writing it down. Grammar, syntax, vocabulary, tell others how to read it. I'm sure we could get it out there later. There's a lot of people who'd be grateful to have the Minoan language decoded.
Huh?
The Minotaur looks down at the tablet and flicks his ears. The screen shows the growing library of ebooks.
That would be quite enjoyable. Long has it been since I have given much thought to my native tongue. I could even try to recall my old poems. I wrote a few of them Minoan.
You write poetry?
I used to, a bit here and there over the centuries. As the muse is inspired. Nothing significant, however.
Hey, don't undersell yourself. Knowing you, I'm sure they must be good. If you remember any, do you think you could let me read them?
Ooh.
Is that a no?
No. I mean, no, it isn't a no. So many were just
Minoh Hotel team and your fancy vocabulary. So many were just so many were just that word as the muses moved.
It never even occurred to me to write most of them down or to save them when I did. If I recall any poems, I suppose allowing you to read them would be acceptable. But my duties to the hotel come first. I should not allow this to become a distraction.
Well, you can do it during your time off, or if there's a gap in the schedule where we don't need you down the bedrock. How about that?
Very well. When I'm not required for research, instead I'll work on this. That said, I hope you don't intend on giving me time off just to appease a silly diversion, Mark. If you do, then Coda and Luke will have to carry my burden.
Me giving you time off? I'd never. My job is making you work, isn't it? In the name of our mission, of course. He looks at you, examining your every feature. The jollity and ease of your bearing, the accent in your tone of voice, the signs and assurances of kidding around, the curiosity in your eyes, the crescent of your smile. And the armband, too. He sees you.
In the name of our mission.
You can now work on Astrion's project. You can select this activity in the daily agenda screen when Astrion not busy with the R&D team. Ooh. Fun, fun, fun. Astrion needs to be free to advance his project, hang out with staff. Let's keep working on the other stuff. Okay, so Astrion needs to be free to advance his project, and I also got a Lucas to advance his route. So let's confirm. You will be taking the day off. Yes. I am going to take the day off. Well, give me a minute, everyone. I'm still nibbling on my food. You decide to take the day off and rest until the afternoon. R&D team. R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. Checking an exploration team. Your team got really... Ooh! Your team got really lucky and found 6 raw materials, twice what you expected. Okay. So that means we have like... I'm trying to think. So that means we have at least 9 materials right now. Sorry. Well past midnight, life raged on in the realm of the labyrinth. The dragon from the east proceeded with his investigation, asking the guests about travelers such as himself. An inevitable answer came, however, not a pang of sorrow touched his heart. Had the search itself become pleasant after so many years? And the American griffin, once so eager to partake in regretful escapades, couldn't resist the allure of the stars. One star at a time, he grasped the colossal universe in the palm of his hand. Meanwhile, the cobalts gave in to the peace of a mind-healing slumber, of a home found after who knows how long in the bone-chilling underground. What makes you say that, Echo? You said you were the odd one in your family. What makes you say that? I mean, I'm the odd one in my family too, so that's fine. As for our good lords, pristine horned Astrion and diamond grinding Mark, tonight they deliver themselves to smaller pleasures. Fine wine summoned and enjoyed, delicate poems written and recited, and all of mankind's comforting invitations at their fingertips. And as the pair watch a movie side by side under a leather sofa, his fingers do fidget. One's clumsy digits, tense arms, even their stirring legs. Doesn't a man's body all feel inadequate in the presence of someone who awakens once cold embers? Well into the night, by happenstance, their fingertips graze on each other, and hearts both skip a beat. Most of your family is Mormon. Ah, okay. Yeah, I could kind of imagine that's a little... I mean, most of my family is Christian. So... But nothing is said. Silence and the choice to believe it mere chance is made sweeter for the hummingbirds fluttering behind one's head for a drink. Ooh, so things are getting... That was a little steamy with Astrion. Alright, we're gonna let Astrion rest this time. I'm gonna have... Tech 5. I'm gonna have both of them focus on R&D and no exploration. Because I just want to... I want to catch up on this, yes, and work on Astrion's project. I still have a lot, so I need 20, like I said, 20 tech and 15 minerals. So I'm gonna let them, I kind of want to get that built. In the meantime, though, let's confirm plan. Done planning. You allow Astrion and yourself a day off for work to work on his project. So if I recall, you wanted to help decipher your Minoan language and share it with the world? Astrion shifts left and then right, his tail and ears following along. Yes, that would mean a lot to me. I used the internet to look it up. The Minoan language has been lost to time, but fragments of Cretan writing still exist in clay and stone tablets, ceramics, and decorations found in Greece and Turkey. Archaeologists and linguists have classified their findings into 3 distinct writing systems. The oldest one is what they call Cretan hieroglyphs. Sadly, I am not familiar with this writing system. I recognize some of the symbols, but I never learned to actually read them. There were 2 systems after that, which they call Linear A and Linear B. The latter is partly decoded, but is too recent for me. I was not taught how to read it. What they call Linear A, that is the one I can read and translate. I looked up some images of the partly preserved tablets, and I could read them with a little effort. Really? What kind of stuff is written on them? The ones I could find mostly kept business records, although I've seen 1 or 2 of proverbs and poetry fragments. Those really help to jog my memory. But I know not at all where to start with this. How do I share my translations? I have a hard time looking things up on the tablet, let alone writing them down on a text processor and sharing them. Well, I can handle that for you. Maybe while we work on this project, I can teach you a little more about how to use your tablet and phone. I would appreciate that, but please do not worry too much about it. I would not want to slow you down. I don't mind. I'll be as patient as I have to. You're doing the world a favor by sharing this knowledge. It's only fair that you learn something along the way, too. Thank you. So let's get started, shall we? Astrion nods. He clears his desk, save for a pencil and pad to take notes. First of all, we're going to need access to the available writings. That means looking up what museums have which fragments in their collection and seeing if there's any way to get access to them. We'll also need to contact someone to report your translations to. Perhaps the research team at university here and there? Scratch that. I actually have some contacts from uni. But we need to do this anonymously, alright? I don't think anyone would accept the explanation that a Minotaur has been alive for thousands of years and just so happens to be fluent in a dead language. Yes, a cover story may be necessary. It would also help to have the hotel make some fragments of our own. If it can do that, to add more, another Minotaur who team, why are you using such advanced language like this? This scares people away. This is how you scare people away. To add more visibility to the whole thing. We don't happen to have any lying around, do we? I'd have to check. That would take an afternoon by itself. We have all the time in the world, partner. Oh, Astrian's so happy. Astrion gives you a big smile and pulls out his tablet. Of course we do, but we have other matters to attend to as well, so we better make good use of the time we have, yes? How about you sit next to me while I work on the desktop? It'll make things more manageable. Astrion nods. You and Astrion spend the rest of the afternoon exchanging ideas and looking up universities and museums. From time to time, you let Astrion have a go at using the mouse and keyboard. After a few too many instances of typing 3 letters in one stroke, however, he decides that he vastly prefers his tablet's touchscreen. Let's check in on the R&D team. The R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. Nobody was sent to exploration. Okay. After your daily tasks are done, you return to the lounge to enjoy a meal and a moment of rest. You scroll through your phone while waiting for Coda to come and take your order. 10 minutes pass in the rigmarole of Coda's glacial polite ease. You're well aware of the Eastern Dragon's tendency to take the time to introduce himself, to have short, courteous conversation with each and every guest, to do all he can to ensure that they all have a most relaxing and rejuvenating experience. But the fact of the matter remains that he also has to work in the kitchen. Delays are unfortunate, but inevitable, now that you're receiving more people. However, it still takes much longer than your first estimate to be served. You take the opportunity to get caught up on the state of affairs in the world outside. You've heard of some recent events from the new guests, but it's always useful to get multiple perspectives and keep yourself informed. Time flies as you immerse yourself into the newsfeed. You look up from your phone and search around for the ever-gentle dragon. The quickest of glances reveals no one drifting from table to table to welcome each guest. The warm, gentle pitter-patter of both his feet and his voice is conspicuous for its absence. Kodo's nowhere to be seen. Is something wrong? You get up to go check in the kitchen, but as soon as you do, you bump, and quite literally so, into something more unexpected. Eep! Two of the kobolds are cowering next to your legs, barely noticeable under the table. Sam... No, you're not the only one that's still here. There's a few other people. Like I said, I know that I'm not too worried because like I said, I know that this is not the most interesting live stream, and that's fine. I know it's not for everyone, but like I said, I'll probably do a Halloween stream. Maybe next week, I'll do a Halloween. I'll play a game on stream on YouTube exclusively, not on my Twitch. He sure has thick fingers. The usual rags are gone, replaced by miniature waiter outfits. Their shirts are made of a delicate linen, the vest is tailored to their every measurement, and their bow ties and burgundy aprons are crisp and fresh. One of the kobolds jumps backwards to bolt, but the darker one yanks his companion by the nail-crumbled collar. With his other hand, he pokes you with a piece of paper until you take it.
No, Zipto. First you get the customer's attention, and then you write their order.
Do you copy? I'll check that out. I'll look up some of these. I do. I like them in the outfits, by the way. Kota yanks the notebook from the kobold's grasp.
And would it hurt to say hello or greetings, like I just spent this out the morning teaching you?
The doe-eyed darlings look downward, dejected and ashamed, barely containing their tears. What a shameful display. They snuffle once, twice, and Kota already regrets raising his voice. Aww!
I am sorry, little ones. I will handle the orders, so you two go serve table 6 their meals. You've been doing a fantastic job with that. Can you do that for me?
The dragon lays a comforting hand on either kobold's shoulder, and the gentle grace of his kind words reinvigorates the pair's enthusiasm. Aww. They scurry off towards the kitchen as Kota addresses you.
I am terribly sorry for the delay, Mark. I thought they had a solid grasp on this task.
It's okay, Kota. I was really distracted. I should have noticed them.
I would prefer to greet and take the customer's orders myself. It keeps the standards of our establishment high, you see. But at this rate, I don't think I can manage on my own.
So you convince the kobolds to wait tables? Echo. Well, that's true. Echo, I do got to get back to Echo, but I'm talking about non-visual. I'm talking about non-visual novel games. But Echo, I will come back to. I promise. I really have missed Echo, and since I somewhat enjoyed Adastra, which is a little more sci-fi, it'd be nice to play. Get back into Echo again.
No, they asked of their volition. These industrious little things seem to have taken a liking to me and are very eager to help. That said, I do wish their enthusiasm translated to good manners and proper etiquette.
They were scrounging for scraps and wearing tattered clothes when they got here, Kota. One can assume they aren't familiar with aristocratic table manners. Be more patient with them. They seem to be doing their best.
Indeed they are. I'm sure they will learn the ropes sooner rather than later, and their help is very much appreciated. Groggy, please. Table 6 is the other way.
As he turns, his shoulder spikes rip another chunk of his dress shirt. Oops, you think the outfits were a good idea?
We'll figure something out eventually. It's better than having them run around wearing rags and patchwork. Oh, where are my manners? What would you like me to get for you, Mark?
I'm really curious. I'm still really curious if I wouldn't have went with having a classy place, because when you first play the game, you do have a choice between choosing a more party atmosphere or a more classy atmosphere.
Oh, where are my manners? What would you like me to get for you, Mark?
Oh, Night in the Woods! It doesn't have to be furry themed. I was just saying it just not a, it doesn't have to be furry themed. But Night in the Woods is a good idea. I didn't even think about that. I forgot about Night in the Woods. Kota takes your order and returns to the kitchen. Then from the hallway you catch a familiar tune, a melodic clopping of hooves and chest rumbling hum. Your friend locks his gaze on you, but before approaching he meanders about. He nods to the men sitting at the counter, waves to a pair of women snacking to the side, and bows to a family and their children. To you he smiles, but even after sitting he can't help but flick his ears and fidget his hooves. Hello, I'm actually new to you. Oh, an emerald fox! Are we in the presence of royalty here? Hello, Emerald Fox. It's nice to meet you. I was not expecting royalty to be here today, but you have to be royalty. You're an emerald. Emeralds are pretty rare gems. I mean, you know, everybody always talks about diamonds, but you know, I like emeralds. Emeralds are pretty. I'm more. My favorite color is blue anyway, so I like. My favorite thing is always going to be. I really enjoy the way sapphires look because they're blue. And also, were you born in May? I'm gonna ask you, were you born in May? Because I do remember May is the, you know, birthstone, is May. My birthstone, funnily enough, is April, so it's Diamond. Party equals Luke running a bar thing. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. That's Luke running a bar. I mean, I still want to just see what it looks like. I'm just curious. But anyway, yeah. But May 20th. Okay, so so Echo, your birthstone is Emerald. It's Emerald. I know April. I don't know. I don't remember too many of them, but I know. Like I know April. I know, like I said, I know April's Diamonds. May's Emerald. I would have to look them up though. I kind of forget a lot of them. Oh, September, okay. Alright, Emerald, well, take care. Well, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you'll stop by another stream or video. I have plenty of videos I make, so feel free to stop by next time. But take care. September. Alright, well, if you don't, it was a pleasure to meet you. Well, regardless, it was a pleasure to meet you. And if you do, I'll see you at the next stream or video, possibly. Take care, Emerald. His opening and closing listening expression can often register to some of the guests as blank or stony, but to you he smiles. Is this not an invitation? You raise your eyebrows and he giggles. You wait for him to speak and he merely snorts and leans back. Your petulant partner leaves you no choice but to take the bait. Seems like you're having a grand old time. Yes, sir. A fine day it had been. And what exactly has made it so fine, The Minotaur rests his chin on a hand and scratches his own ears, but his lips remain sealed. The prey shall not deliver itself, the hunter must give chase. Do I need to guess? Perhaps, if you wish to know it all. By the gods, one night you give rights to a man and not a week passes before he learns to keep secrets. Luke's lounge looks like a strip. Oh my gosh. Oh, nice. Yours is garnet. Sam. Oh, jeez. You know what? When I play the roofless, when I go through the roofless route, I'm gonna choose a place to be Luke's because I just want to see what it looks like. Tell me what stops me from ordering you to say it? Yourself only. Pardon the impertinence, but a master you may be, yet leadership you possess more than mastery itself. To be a leader or a master, the distance between the two is greater than the widest sea. At last you give me some credit. Now to guess what secret it is you're keeping. You remain all that's happened so far, all the good and bad. What could leave Astrion in such a state? Could it be something related to Argos? Has the rascal tried and failed to come up with another of his schemes? But you aren't given the chance to consider further. The Minotaur gets antsy and gives in. It even has oh my gosh. Oh, Luke's is gonna be very interesting. Let's not Tari hear it then. I just had a conversation with a few guests and they wish to join us as staff. That's great news. This hotel, magic or not, is way too big for the four of us to tend to alone. Indeed, but we'll need more people in our family if we are to fully realize our mission. And the ones who approached me about it seem like fine folk. I have a good feeling about them. Now, Mark, would you consent to it? To expanding our staff? Let's see. If memory serves, haven't we become partners in managing this fine establishment? Isn't that correct? Indeed. Then you have as much decision-making power as I do. If your judgment tells you these are good people, then I'll trust you. I consent to it, but going forward, let's establish that you're in charge of hiring. You are too kind. In that case, could I suggest or ask? You're not even before he has a chance to finish. We should hold a seminar to welcome and instruct our new staff, don't you think so? You smile, and that says more than any oracle ever did. Aw, we're hiring new people. Oh boy. I gotta see what the people look like. The next morning, you and Astrion sit by the sidelines as Luke and Coda take the stage to speak of their experiences so far. Your guests, now cherished staff members, drink in every word, their eyes glimmering like stars after a light rain. Not a week ago, they had arrived in unwashed clothes, owning only what they could carry, or not even that. For a new playthrough, you should take the speedrunner route. Speedrunner route for this? What do you mean? I'm kind of curious what that means. Today, however, they witness the Minotaur's mysteries. Everyone learns how to hum the realm to wakefulness and command to realize minor miracles. They learn, too, that the hotel's greatness comes from its mission and at the cost of hard work, dedication, and humanity. They learn much, but on the topic of Astrion's past, they are told only the one essential point. He is the co-worker alongside you. All else is for him to share F and when he pleases. Astrion tail swishes and grazes against your leg. His eyes have a fine tooth and he swallows the lump in his throat. They have a home now. The hotel is fulfilling its purpose. Astrion nods and his ears flutter as though taken over by song. You put a hand over your front shoulder and bring him closer to you. Your arm around his lower back, lead ring brushing against his shirt. He lifts his own like the sun at dawn, shy over the horizon, until his warmth drapes over your shoulders in return. But a distance remains between your hips. A shy hesitance takes over the both of you. To be close, yet far too distant. Should your fingers graze his fur? Should he further rest the weight of his arm over yours? Perfection does not exist in such matters. One could grip the other's shirt, crash hips together, graze 3 fingers over the other's spine, and none would be any the wiser were they to laugh it off. Just as fair would be for both to look away at flushed cheeks as hummingbirds peck their scalps. But banish these thoughts. Enjoy the warm softness of his fur, the coarseness of his hands and thick knuckles, and the weight of his arm. He enjoys in turn the kindness of your touches and supports and props up his spine, and the mercy you've extended to him, the hotel, and its guests. And yet, more than your goodness, he cherishes the brotherhood of a man who has taken so well to his mission. But the moment ends too soon. Coda and Luke beckon for one of the co-owners to take over and continue with the seminar. With the tips of your fingers, you push Astrion forward. He does not budge until it crosses his mind this may be in order, yet his first step only comes when he knows it is not. The Minotaur takes the stage once more, and this time he shows no fear. As it was said, my name is Astrion, and I am this hotel's... He clasps his hands together as though grasping the smallest diamond while all of time and memory swells forth. All the impossible fantasies one nurses when about to fall asleep, all the extravagant dreams one never mentions, all that can never be admitted comes true. His chest swells and his voice, even if hitched, booms. You are currently on the humanity route, so basically the MC's job. So which one is the speedrunner one? My name is Astrion, and I am the hotel's co-owner, alongside my partner, Mark. Oh, yeah, he was so happy. Everything Hinterlands too. I think I'm going to stop here, because I feel like this is going to be a long time. You know what? We're going to stop here. I've been streaming for over 3 hours. I think it's good. I'm going to stop here. I think it's a good point to stop. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to save. And I'm going to stop here. Well, everyone, this was a fun stream to do. Like I said, I really missed it, and we did pretty good. We got 3 hours out of the way. I like playing Minotaur Hotel, and this is a fun game to play. But, we got to end eventually. So, I will see, as for schedule, I will see about streaming this again next week. But it might be the week after next, because for the remainder... Well, this is a new week. Starting this new week, I'll definitely be uploading another Familiar Travels video. I will probably try to see about working on Black Sad. I know it's been a while since I worked on that. And... I'm not sure, but definitely Familiar Travels video, and I definitely will be uploading another Black Sad video. I'm not sure what else I'll do this week, but definitely those two will be on my YouTube. And of course on Twitch, I'm going to stream tomorrow before I head to work. I will be streaming, I'll be continuing on with more Spyro 2. We'll definitely get that out the way tomorrow. But with that being said, though, thank you everyone for stopping by. Big shout out to all the new people that I saw today. Thank you, thank you. And like I said, it was really, I really do enjoy this visual novel. Despite me getting flustered with some of the words, you know, I'm getting better. Oh, it literally is just called Speedrunner. Okay, maybe I'll do that for the next. I'll do that for the. Maybe I'll do that for the next time I play through this, because I'm gonna play this one more time just as the Roofless path. But I'm not gonna play every single time just to have a different career. When I do the Roofless, I'll probably do Speedrunner. But anyway, everyone, I hope you have a beautiful night, day or night, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you on the next. Yeah, I'm in the stream now. I've been streaming for a little over 3 hours. It's 9:22 my time, so I gotta end now. I want to get some other stuff done. I wanted to work on a video tonight before I go to bed. I want to upload another Spyro video to my YouTube. So sorry about that, Emerald. But again, thank you for stopping by, Emerald. I really appreciate it. Just to let you know, I don't do just furry visual novels. I also do regular furry videos, so this isn't the, you know, like I said, this is, if you're not interested in this, that's fine. I plan on doing other videos too, so. But thank you everyone for stopping by, and I will see you next time. Thank you for being an amazing, amazing pack mates, and take care. Bye.